On the Level Talk Show.
You're tuned to On a Level with Ankhobia. This is Muta Baruka.
Get ready for some of the hottest talk on radio. The On a Level Talk Show addresses issues that matter to you.
Ankhobia with On a Level.
This is Ankhobia. I'm on the phone with Queen Afua. This Wednesday, Queen Afua, for the first time, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, for the first time, she comes to Birmingham. Yes. She will be in our city. She'll be appearing at Camp Lane Development Centre. How are you doing?
Everything is beautiful. Thank you so much.
How's your stay in the UK so far?
Everything is just wonderful.
Yes.
The work is being embraced, and so I'm very grateful to be here.
Okay, now... Yeah. You've been coming in and out of the UK for some time now over the past few months.
Yes, this is my fourth journey, my fourth trip here.
Your fourth trip to the UK. Mm-hmm. And how have you found the audiences and communities in the UK? Are they receptive to Queen Afua?
They're receptive to the work that comes to Queen Afua. So I'm very honored that people have been reading the books for years and they are living the life. Many and some who have been reading them may not be living the life, but they just wanted to take a first step towards wellness, so they've been growing. I've been seeing people on different levels.
Yes.
And some who've been healing for years on this work, and some who are just coming into it who are very excited about taking a new step and taking greater responsibility for their wellness and the wellness of their families.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, you're coming to Birmingham, the heart of the UK. Mm-hmm. Tell our listeners, please, what can they expect from Queen Afua?
Well, this is my fourth book right now.
Yes, you've written... Just remind us again of the books that you've written so far.
Yes, the first book was written approximately 21 years ago, and that's Heal Thyself for Health and Longevity.
Okay.
All my books are self-help empowerment books of wellness.
Yes.
And that included both women and men, children, the elders, the whole family. That's what it's based on. And then there's the second book, which is Sacred Woman, a guide to healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit. And that book was geared to helping to awaken the healer within. The women are the primary healers of the household. And that book is to help to strengthen them mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, mm-hmm. which then also helps to support them physically.
Yes.
And that's based on the 9 gateways of being a woman, and embraces all women from all the various houses, spiritual lifestyles, affiliations. Then the third book is The City of Wellness, and that's what brought me here last year. It's The City of Wellness, Restoring Your Health with the 7 Kitchens of Consciousness, using food as medicine. And my most highly acclaimed kitchen to me is the International Soul Food Kitchen, because that joins all the various families together.
Yes.
And I go into from the soul food vegetarian Southern kitchen to the soul food Caribbean kitchen,
yes.
to the soul food African kitchen, to the soul food Spanish kitchen. And so that international kitchen allows us to move into our healing, but keeping our culture intact within our foods. And then the womb book, and it's Overcoming an Angry Vagina, Journey to Womb Wellness. The purpose of this book is to prevent disease. Women are having so many womb traumatic issues, and I have been receiving them, hearing them, holding women as they're crying through them, and wanting to give them answers on how to overcome the hurt and the sadness and the anger, and which causes all the physical abnormalities that's in the womb, in our womb life.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Overcoming an Angry Vagina. This is your fourth book.
Yes.
And so you're a well-established author. Wonderful. Now, Overcoming an Angry Vagina, Journey to Womb Wellness. This is what you come to talk to us about in Birmingham Wednesday.
Yes.
How did you come up with that title? Overcoming an Angry Vagina. One sister said to me last night, my vagina isn't angry.
I know. And so I dedicate this book to the vaginas who are happy, blissful, moist, loved up, cherished, and precious.
Okay, sounds like a song.
I dedicate that. I dedicate this also to our men,
yes,
who are married, who are loving to their wives, and who are married to angry vaginas. They inherited that. I also dedicate this book to the unborn babies who will be traveling through a hurt, sad, or angry vagina. I dedicate this book to women who are suffering because they've had a hysterectomy. I dedicate this book to them because we have our whole body. And I look at the body as the womb of the mind for what we think we create. The womb of the heart, what we feel we create in birth, and what we think and feel, it translates into the womb in all the various forms of whether it be a fibroid tumor or a cyst or heavy bleeding and clotting. So I dedicate this to women from whatever realm they are in, whatever pain they may be suffering, or maybe they are fine, but maybe their mother suffered and the mother needs to be cradled and be able to talk through some stuff that she kept secret and she kept that hurt festering. Or maybe her grandmother who never spoke before. Or maybe it might miss you and you're great and you're wonderful, but it hits your daughter when she starts dating and she starts having some traumatic relationships and she doesn't know what to do or how to heal herself or how to prevent or overcome. So this is for all of us, even our men. I've noticed that the men are coming out to this. In my first book signing, there were more men than women.
Why do you think that was?
Well, I did ask them.
What did they say?
Well, they have different responses. One response was, the women are angry. I look at the women in the street and they don't smile, are women. And that disturbs me. And I may smile to them and they still have an attitude and a frown.
And this is black men in the UK telling you this about sisters over here. Okay, okay.
But that's not here, just here. That's in America too.
Yes, yes.
Angry women. They call us angry black women with an attitude.
Yes.
And then we'll say, look, we have a good reason to have an attitude. You know, we've been through. But then if you keep that attitude, what will it do? It will give you a womb cancer. It will give you, your womb will be prolapsed as you get older. It will begin to dry out. As you mature, you don't get more peaceful. You get more bitter, more angry.
In fact, traveling to Africa, I find the African woman has the model for how black women in the diaspora should be. I find African women very graceful. And if you look at the hardships they have to endure, they're so soft. But then when you come here, you're meeting a different kind of sister altogether. Okay, most people don't associate an emotion with the vagina. How did you bring the two together?
Well, because one of the things, I've been doing this for over 35 years, and most of my clients are women. I give workshops, classes, seminars. And one of the things I've noticed within myself and with women is whenever we are hurt, we will collapse. If you could just visualize, if something happens and you say, how could he do that to me? And your body drops and your hand goes right to your womb center and you hold your womb center and you begin to cry. Why did he do that? How could he do that? He promised. It could have been your father promised. Why did he leave you? How could he not have been more kinder to your little girl? Or why did that? And then it's moved into an adult woman saying the same story, because if you don't heal from your little girl stuff, it will grow into the big woman stuff, and it will continue to say, and your hand is still pressing and holding your womb center.
Yes.
And in that place, you are literally laying your hands on that feeling, and that feeling moves into your womb. And that's where it all begins. And that's also where it all can begin to end as you begin to purge in your healing bath.
How does the womb translate to the vagina?
Well, because it's body, mind, and spirit. It's not a separation. What you think, you create. The body is not physical alone. It's not mental alone. It's not spiritual. One body contains everything simultaneously. It's your body, it's your mind, it is your spirit. All disease, it doesn't start off physical. It starts off emotional and mental.
Yes.
And over time, if not addressed, we will eat foods that we call comfort foods, which are really not. Most foods that we call comfort foods are the most congesting foods, the heaviest foods. That food reflects what you're feeling. If you need a lot of nurturing, women who are needing a lot of nurturing usually go to dairy.
Yes.
If you need a lot of sweetness, you like to go to sweets and cookies and cakes and pies. If you feel unfulfilled, you usually go to starch. When you're angry, you go to fried food, something to just release that rage through your mouth.
So sometimes you may be feeling all of those emotions and have a diet that can,
and you get indigestion of life. So it is, it's what we eat, what we think, what we feel. Our senses are picking up on every level.
Yes.
And on every level, it is coming in. One woman, last night, I asked all the women, the few of the women who were in the front row, I said, if your womb could speak, and she does, what does she say to you? Because, see, inside of us, I am clear, are all the formulas to life. That's how I was able to write these books. Because I went into my own meditation, I went into my own bath, and I asked, how do I help the women? What do I say? How do I help the men? How can I help the families? And I would receive information, and I would begin to bring it out from inside, and I would birth it, and it would come out in these books. And so I asked one of the women, I said, your womb has a voice and she speaks. What does she say? She says she has no issues. Okay. And then
Right.
she says, untie. I said, untie? I said, breathe deep. Untie what? She says, untie these tubes. Okay. What that means is that the womb is telling her that tying is tying her up. So even if she keeps her wombs tied so she doesn't get pregnant, she still needs to put oxygen, because when something's tied, that means there's not enough oxygen, not enough breath.
Does that mean she's had some kind of a operation?
Well, when you tie your tube so that you don't conceive.
Yes, okay.
So that's not just physically there's a tying, it's an emotional tying.
Yes.
And so she needs to now connect to and open up her life and breathe into her tubes and breathe into her life, because the womb just said it. Another woman said, I am tired. My womb says she's tired. Too much intimate relationships, jumping from one relationship to the next and never healing between one and the other, never learning from the previous relationship. So the womb becomes exhausted spiritually, consciously. And so I've learned that we all have intuition. That is our greatest gift as women, is our intuition. What we really sense, what we pick up, and we don't always trust it. So every time we don't trust it, we end up saying, I should have listened, right?
Yes, yes.
You ask the question, it comes right through you, and then you say, well, that seems to be impossible. But it's not. It came through you, giving you a message, giving you guidance, and that is to say, in all our body organs, our bodies are speaking. If you have a heart attack, that means there's some emotional heart stuff that's going on.
Yes, yes.
So wherever the emotion is hitting, whatever the body system is going through a challenge, there is a message in that organ. If it's your knees, if it's your back, that means you're not getting enough emotional support.
Yes.
If it's your knees, you're feeling not strong in the world. So there's some things that you need to address on another level besides the physical.
So if the woman's womb speaks to her, then what is it in the man that speaks to him?
Well, because women having tumors and cysts and heavy bleeding and clotting, it would make me focus in on women.
Yeah.
But for the men, because the men are coming to the circles.
Yes.
And they're coming in equal measure to the women coming. So the men want to be spoken to. And through the same way, they can speak to their jed. Maybe they're too aggressive. Maybe they need a rest. Maybe they're acting out some of their sexual energy because they didn't feel they were fulfilled on other areas of their life, and they feel their manhood in that way. So some of our men have had incest. They're going through their own challenges. Who do they speak to? That's why our men are buried earlier than us.
Yes,
because at least women, we'll get on the phone, we'll talk, we'll cry, we'll go to workshops, we'll read about it, we'll work through our stuff.
Yes.
And the men, they don't do that, and they're not even told that it's okay to do that.
Okay, so a lot of black women, I find, and women in general actually, seem to be very much moving towards this road of empowerment. And I do think it's a change that Mother Nature is shaking up the women to say, look, something has to change, something has to be done. I see so many black women going to churches, so many black women going on empowerment seminars, but still not enough change, I think, perhaps, is being done in the community. What is it that's needed? Where do you see that there's something missing here, and how do you then fit and fulfill that need?
Well, we can pray, because that's an aspect of the healing. We meditate. That's the spiritual side of us. Then there is the mental. How are we thinking? And what are we saying as we're thinking? That's the mental.
Yes.
Then there is the physical body. What are we putting in our body that translates into disease or wellness? If we're eating fast foods, microwave foods, dead foods, heavy flesh foods, fried foods, eating ourselves to sleep because we're hurting, what does that say to our body? What type of body, what state is our body, mind, spirit in? All the aspects must be fed, cleansed, recharged, and purified.
Okay, now let me just stop you there. That's a very important point, because you're saying it's a holistic system. So even if we see some of our sisters, and I know you love the church on a Sunday, but Queen Afua is saying it's not enough to just go and pray. It's a holistic system, so you have to look after your body, which means exercise. We have to watch the foods that we put in our mouths, and meditation, you're saying, as well.
Yes.
Okay, and I know you're big on affirmations.
Yes.
And things like that. Any other things that can be done?
Yes. Well, what I do is, the book is based on 5 portals, and the first portal deals with guidance. And the guidance is, I teach you how to use the elements: air, the breath, life-giving foods, fire, the healing baths, the hot castor oil packs, the ginger packs, because I'm focusing on womb wellness. That's what I'm focusing on, because from the womb, we start to liberate ourselves. We start to feel our strength. Our center of our body is our solar system. And from that light, from that energy, we feel our empowerment in our hearts and in our minds and in our circulatory system. But when our wombs are weakened, it impacts the entire system in the body. So we go into fire. We do the water healing. I was a colon for 15 years. Just on the colon being impacted, I talk about that in the book. If you have 3 meals a day, and you should have 3 eliminations, 3 bowel movements a day. After 7 days, that's 21 meals, 21 eliminations. But suppose you have 3 meals a day, even if they're small meals, but you're only having 1 elimination for the day, that means there's 14 meals backed up in the system. Those 14 meals, that's just 1 week. We're not talking about what it looks like for a month.
Yes.
And what happens is that colon should be above the navel. It becomes impacted, and it drops under the navel. And when it drops under the navel, over time, by the time you're 30, it's starting to drop. From years of accumulation, then it presses down on the bladder, so you're starting to have frequent urination, uncontrollable bladder. Then the colon and the bladder then drops further down onto the womb, causing womb congestion, womb pain, swelling wombs, prolapse wombs. So by the time a woman becomes 50, her womb is prolapsed. And then it's being recommended that she gets a hysterectomy.
Yes.
Or her womb is not strong enough to flush out the dairy that we're eating and the white flour products. So that means it starts to accumulate like a snowball effect in form of a tumor in the womb from all of that constriction and all of the toxic eating. So just on flushing, washing the colon with your okra, with your flaxseed, with your 8 glasses of warm water, with your self-massage, with your enemas if need be, if a colonic series if need be. And then I take you through air, fire, water, earth. Earth are the foods, the greens from the field. Greens, and I'm here, there's a disease here called SAD. And
seasonal adjustment disorder.
It's a lack of sunlight.
Big time. Yes.
And how we overcome that is we must eat the food, the sun foods. We're sun people. We must have sun foods. And from the sun goes into the plants, photosynthesis. We take the plants, we start to feel rejuvenated in our hearts. We feel lighter, we feel brighter, we are more at peace. We don't find ourselves so depressed. The more green foods, green juices, green herbs. I brought a 21-day detox kit, all based on plant life. And that kit has the green formula in it to help to boost up the immune system, to help to boost up the emotional system. So that would be the Green Life Nutritional Formula. That would be the Master Herbal Detox, which from the plant life. That would be even the clay. I have a clay to help to take out the pain that you put over the womb center to help to nourish the womb, put the nutrition back into the womb, the zinc, the potassium. So now what I'm saying is that in that first portal, which are chapters, I give you all the ways in which to how to use and access nature to prevent maybe having a tumor removed. Maybe you can dissolve it, soften it and let it flush out holistically. Maybe you can prevent that PMS and you don't have to suffer from that monthly pain and the agony of having your menstrual flow. It doesn't have to be an unfriendly experience. We call that the friend. But it's not a friend that's going to put you to bed and have you throw up and be nauseous and clotting and all of that. It's unnecessary. You know, and just like, you know, in some spiritual houses, they say that we have been cursed as women. I say that we have been blessed. So when you accept that you have been cursed, then you're okay about having pain every month because you're cursed. But as women begin to cleanse themselves, they realize they go into shock. They say, wait a minute, this is my third 21-day detox, and I don't have any pain anymore. I don't have to take any more painkillers. What does the painkiller do to your womb? It kills your womb. It numbs your womb. So we was in a womb circle one time, and one of the women, as they would say what they feel in their womb, one woman says, I feel nothing. I feel dead. I feel numb.
Wow.
And she has been living off of painkillers for years because of she's constantly going through every month her menses. It's aggravating. It makes women almost hate being women.
Yes.
Why do we have to suffer like this? Even women going through 38 hours of bringing life into the world, that is only because she's so constipated. She hasn't exercised. She doesn't know how to live as a woman. She hasn't done her proper breathing. She hasn't been eating the foods that are healthy. Maybe she's eating some junk food or fast foods, and she's saying, well, I have to have my protein, but what level, what energy that's in that protein that's causing the body to have to be so traumatized?
Are you saying to me that you've actually seen women give...
Shorter births.
Yes, and
yes, absolutely.
without pain?
Usually the women that work with me, the births, usually if they've had time to prepare for conception and their husbands are in tune also and eating healthy, then how she goes through her pregnancy is just beautiful. And then when she goes through labor, it's not a 2-day labor. She may be there for 4 hours, 8 hours tops.
Yes. This is Ankhobia. I'm on the phone with Queen Afua. This Wednesday, Queen Afua, for the first time, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, for the first time, she comes to Birmingham. She will be in our city. She'll be appearing at Camp Lane Development Centre, which is just off Handsworth, B21 8JA, just before you get to the West Bromwich football grounds. Now, she is the author of 4 books, but her latest book, Overcoming an Angry Vagina, Journey to Womb Wellness. I suggest this is a lecture that you must not miss. You mustn't miss this lecture. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to meet our sister queen, but also to come and learn ways in which you can begin to heal your lives, heal your womb. Me too as well. I'm not sitting here like I know it all right? I certainly don't. So I'll be there as well to see ways in which I can continue on my journey of empowerment and my journey towards wellness. And certainly this journey towards womb wellness is something that I have to revisit. So this Wednesday, the 31st of March, starts 7 p.m. Come and meet our sister queen. She's also offering private one-to-one consultations. Queen Afua is a world-renowned certified holistic health specialist, and she practices from a uniquely spiritual perspective. She's a wellness coach. She's a herbalist. Are you a yoga instructor?
Yes, I am.
Okay, lecturer, author, lay midwife. What is that, a lay midwife?
Well, when I came into this work, I knew that there's certain things that you need to know because you never know when you need to help someone
True.
or be of support. I knew that because I do a lot of traveling, that I could never really be an official midwife because you have to be really stationed, and I have to reach out to many. So I just learned the system of bringing life into the world as a support mechanism for women.
Okay. And you're also a certified colon therapist. You know, we were talking about colon therapy this week with some of the sisters here at the radio station. And we were saying, you know, we need to go and get some colonics done and get our, just, you know, to get the body, our colons cleansed out. But I have had people on the show before who've actually said that colon cleansing is not healthy. It's not the best way. What is your view on that?
Well, just because the point of the colon is water therapy, it's hydrotherapy, so it's all relative. What choice would you make? Would you choose possibly having surgery, or you'd having possibly water cleansing, so you can maybe prevent the surgery from the toxic lifestyle? So it is helpful to, just as you wash your outer body, you can wash your sinus. You can wash your eyes. You can also and need to wash the old waste that's accumulated in the colon.
Yes.
The average person is carrying 10 to 15 pounds of waste in the colon. That's when you have the pot belly,
Yes.
and that's dangerous because it will eventually destroy your bladder and your reproductive center and possibly your back. You start having low back pains and cramping. The colon is the map of the body. So you may be the judge. If you have waste in the ascending colon that's been there for weeks or months or sometimes years,
Yes.
then the ascending colon controls your head. Headaches, depression, loss of sight, loss of hearing. Many times it's a lot of waste in the ascending on the right side of the colon. If you have a tremendous amount of congestion in your lungs, you have asthma, shortness of breath, on heart palpitations, that means there's waste that has accumulated and sitting and pressing on those organs in the transverse. And there are connecting points from the colon that corresponds with the various organs throughout your system. Say you have womb issues, a prolapsed womb, heavy bleeding and clotting, varicose veins, swollen ankles. That means the descending colon is impacted. So, no, you don't want to have to get a colonic for the rest of your days, but it would be good to wash out some of that old waste and then move into a healthy lifestyle from that point on and no longer pollute your colon. So you wouldn't need to have all those colonics, but you would need to always have some natural foods and plenty of water and your salads so you can to maintain a healthy colon.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. Okay, let's get back to this, the women here. Because you've written this book. I know you say men can read it as well, but certainly the title, Overcoming an Angry Vagina, suggests that it's primarily aimed and targeted at women.
I'm learning that's different now. The men are coming as a plead.
Okay.
They are coming actually sitting in. A brother came, he says, now that you've explained the book, I now understand why my ex is so mean.
Yes.
And why she's so vindictive and is messing with our daughter.
Okay, but I also hope that he understands why he attracted that kind of woman as well.
What goes around comes around. And where does it start?
It's
the
a
chicken
mirror.
or the egg.
Yes.
Who we're going to blame first?
Uh-huh.
Yes, we're all responsible. We come into this world, even as babies, we come into this world as returning ancestors. Why did we come to that family?
Yes.
So, yes, he's responsible because he attracted her in his life with his own energy. She's also responsible. She attracted him into her life. So that means we must heal together. No pointing the finger, it is all you. You destroyed me. You did this to me. Because what happens, if we look and study our lives as women or men, we will realize that we leave that relationship, we're upset, and we go into another relationship. It's the same story. The different outfit, a different profession, but we're going through the same scenario if we have not learned from our past.
Okay, so what is it that's happening to the women? You're saying women are angry. I see sisters all the time walking down the streets. They're in a world of their own, and they do tend to look, for the most part, quite angry, upset. Something is going wrong. This is not just in this country, in America, the Caribbean. I've seen it sometimes in Africa, not to a greater extent, but I have seen it at times where I do watch and see how the dynamics, for example, in a country like Ghana, how the dynamics between the man and the woman, how things are changing and how that's beginning to affect the family. But certainly for those of us as Africans living in the West, and not even just African women, women in general, what is it? Why are we in this state?
Well, I mean, we can just pull a hat and which one do you want to take? You can take 400 years of chattel slavery, 8 generations of rape and incest and constant sexual abuse, bringing babies into this world that were going to be taken from us, put into another plantation, and 8 generations, that's called seasoning. So from one generation to the next, there's rage, there's anger, there's hurt, there's mistrust, and then the man was to go have sex with his mother to bring life, or his daughter, or his niece. It was like we were treated like we were horses. And that was not healed up. We never worked it through. We never discussed it out. We never, no one ever apologized. We just moved on and kept living our lives.
Yes.
So that could be one thing. The original woman, she was considered the lotus woman. She was revered. And in the very earliest of times, it was not the man that was the head of the household. It was ma'at, balance, truth, righteousness, which means that the wisdom of both male and female was understood as what we working together in tandem and we both have wisdom, and we both respect and honor each other's visions and judgments and so on. And so with our daughters, many of our daughters do not have fathers in the home. And so if you don't have a father in the home, then you're going to look for the father outside to nurture you, but you may go to the wrong one because you was never taught how to be with men, how to relate to men. So you come as a teenager and totally off balance, and you're having your first intimate relationship, and someone's abusing you, or someone leaves you and you feel lonely, and where's my father, and where's my wisdom? He's not here to help me. We have a lot of different issues. Some women are upset because they're in a polygamous relationship. They don't want to be a second wife or a third wife, and the first wife is angry because there's a second and third. But maybe some women feel totally perfect in that circle, so it's fine. So I'm saying you can choose which one. Why are you disturbed? Maybe there was incest as a little girl. A lot of little girls, when they grow up as women, they still are stunted in their growth because maybe their father had sex with them when they were 4 years old, or their uncle, 7 years old, 9 years old, and that's so the family's sick. And many of the little girls, they'll say that it happened, or the grown women will talk about it, and they'll say that the incest happened when they were 7 up until teenagers. You cannot have that kind of experience without the mother knowing. So then they're angry at both mother and father. They're angry at any man that would touch them, but they still, by nature, want to have a man in their lives.
Yes.
So from which realm are we going to pull from that disturbs us? Because everything has a root, causation of why we're angry. But if we don't say, I want to heal, I'm tired of being angry, because to be angry is a weight. It's exhausting to stay in a state of anger. It shuts down your heart. It shuts down your circulatory system. It makes your womb prolapse and dry out. It hurts you in your future. Everything you do, it becomes contaminated because of the rage and the anger, whether it's subconsciously, and most anger is a subconscious plane. We get angry, we don't resolve it, and we just get up and keep moving. And we say, I'm fine, I have no anger.
How do you get a woman who is perhaps unaware? I mean, I'm very into how the subconscious and the conscious minds work together. And I know it's the subconscious mind that is the driver for our lives, that is the driver. The conscious mind is the car, but certainly the subconscious is the driver that says, you know, this is how you're feeling, this is why things are happening in your life. But for somebody who is going through life, day to day existing, and who is not aware of how the subconscious and the conscious minds interplay and work together, but they feel something's not quite right in their life. How do you kind of get them to look at some of those issues that may be affecting them that are subconscious?
Usually when a woman comes to see me, or a man, when they come to see me, they're coming for physical issues.
Yes.
They're coming because there's high blood pressure, or there's heavy bleeding, or they have a second tumor that now they're going to have to remove again because it grew back a year later. And I said, it's lifestyle. We must change your lifestyle.
Yes.
And then they start to see, oh, that's how I ate myself into sickness. That's how the tumor grew, because the tumor is just mucus that is crystallized over time through dairy, on a physical level, through a lot of flesh eating, fried food eating, late night eating, junk food eating, all of that created that tumor on a physical level. And they start to say, oh, I understand. That's how come I'm in pain. That's how come it grew. And then I show them, this is how you can eat. You can have all the proteins, but on a higher level. These are the vegetarian proteins. You have several choices. You can move out of the heavy meats and move more to fish. And limit your chicken, remove the skin, eat it in the middle of the day. So, okay, I see. So I start to work on food as medicine. Then as we go through the food as medicine and they see, okay, this is how I can eat for my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's not a starvation situation. I will be nourishing my body. Then I'll give them a tonic. I'll say, try this. This is my Green Life formula, which is spirulina and wheatgrass, and that helps to rejuvenate the body, the tissues and cells, bringing oxygen. They say, oh, I give them a little bit of that, and I'll give them another formula that I have, which is Breath of Life, and they take that and say, oh, my gosh, my sinus was all clogged up, and now I'm breathing a little bit better. Yes.
Maybe I need some of that. My sinuses are always clogged up.
Well, when I see you, that will be done. We're going to finish that one off completely.
Okay.
and then after that, because they're with me for 45 minutes, I close out in a meditation, an affirmation.
Yes.
And I say, one of the things I say, I am a healer and I can heal myself. That's what they're doing. We can begin our process. If you see your physician, continue seeing your physician. But every 21 days, I will tell my clients, when they go back to their doctors, the doctor says, oh, I see an improvement. We can cut back on some of the medication. Or maybe we can watch you a little closer. Maybe you don't have to have the surgery now. Let me just watch you because you seem to be getting better.
Okay, so you're mentioning there that you would close your session, your 45-minute session, with an affirmation. But because of what's going on, all the trauma and unhealed issues, emotional issues from our childhood, etc., because they sit there in the subconscious mind.
Yes, it's the process, because I can't do everything in 45 minutes. I have to start where they want me to start, which is first let me clean the body a bit. That's why that first session is to clean the body a bit. The second session, now we can go down deeper and say, okay, why did you create this? Where is it coming from? Well, that goes into the emotional body. So every week, say you 21 days of cleansing, which that's my encouragement. And matter of fact, I will be giving webinars, 4-week workshop webinars. I'll be in the United States, and I'll be giving them here. So that we can have a chance to process. I can help you walk through the depths. So the first 7 days, one will begin to feel a physical shift. Energy will start coming in. They'll start to mentally feel a little bit better. The second week goes into from the physical body into more the mental body, where their mind becomes sharper. They are not feeling mood swings going up and down psychologically, emotionally. And then we go into the third week, they start to feel spiritually more centered. They find that when they speak something, it starts to happen and manifest. So that works on a first week body, next week mind, third week spirit. Body, mind, spirit, unity coming into place. So by the time you get into the third week, you're ready to go into the second or third, you're ready to go into the subconscious and say, where did this really come from? What is the root of this? And how can I begin to heal myself? And not to be afraid of it, but to actually embrace the shift, the change, and the inner conversation, because you're strong enough now to look at some things that you could not look at before.
Yes. And also your affirmations can take on a deeper meaning, because sometimes a person can do affirmations, but it will be rejected on a deeper level. Well, because their belief system is saying, no, don't tell me that I'm rich and healthy, because you're not. So you obviously take them through that 21-day process to get into a place where there's less resistance.
And I do it through water, because when we work together, I recommend that they take their 3 or 4 baths a week. Using their Epsom salt or their lavender oil or their frankincense and myrrh oil, maybe putting some stones in the water, or maybe not, just being in the water, or having water surround you, warm water. Water represents the emotions. Water helps you to release. And that water therapy will help you to connect to your heart, connect to your spirit, connect to where the issues are coming from. And you may end up shedding a few tears in the water and loving yourself through the process, being gentle as you begin to go deep, because it's not easy to go deep because we're afraid. It hurts there. But if you prepare, it's like preparing for surgery. If you prepare someone to go there, then it just will come up and they say, oh. And then I will say, as the second or third week, now it's time for you to rise up between 4 and 6 in the morning and spend 10, 15 minutes in a journal moment, a prayer moment, so you can begin to start to unravel and see why you keep creating these toxic relationships in your life, and where is this anger really coming from. And really, anger is just hurt. You hurt so much till you get angry as a protection. The anger becomes a shield of protection, like no one else is going to hurt me again.
Say that again, please, my sister. I like that. Anger is just hurt.
Yeah, anger is a shield. It's a shield to protect you from someone ever hurting you again. So that's the energy that you start projecting. No one's going to hurt me again. So really, angry women are just hurt women. Sometimes we think that by being angry, we're protecting ourselves, but in fact, you do more damage to yourself because you're hurting the body. And but you don't know what else to do. Yes, and it's so like if I keep attracting relationships that don't work, and I think it's all their fault, that I don't have any responsibility for my own life, that I didn't create anything, then I'm going to be angry at you for hurting me, for saying that, for doing that. But if you take time, because hurt people, and loved up people love people. So if you start saying, I'm going to love myself, period. I'm going to support myself. I'm going to cleanse myself. I'm going to nurture myself. These 21 days belong to me. Yes, love is the antidote to anger, most certainly. People think that by being angry, they're going to get what they want, but they don't. And of course,
I was saying to someone the other day, if you've grown up in a situation where your parents weren't loving towards you, the lesson to be taken from that is that love is the healer.
But you have to learn how to love.
Yes, you have to learn how to love.
If you haven't been given it, you have to learn.
Okay. And how do you suggest to people to love? How does somebody know when they're in contact with a loving person? Or that they themselves are loving?
Loving people are giving people. If you have been given enough, then you have more to give. When you haven't been given much, then you cannot give. So those who are hoarders, those who are greedy, you have to look at temperament. You can look at yourself and what am I keep attracting? And so there's some blemishes that we also need to look at within ourselves. So we're not pointing the finger.
Yes.
Because the pointing the finger creates gossip.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, like someone said, well, what do you think about this leader, Queen? And what do you think about that leader? I said they're doing the best they can to help raise us up. You know, get me into no gossip.
Yeah,
no, that's not going to help us.
Yes, no susu. I agree. It doesn't make sense when you really think about it. It really all comes down to you.
Yes, what can you do? What are you doing to help yourself and to help your people and to help humanity to come out of the state of sickness and disease?
Yes, it really comes down to you and your relationship with Source.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'm so looking forward to meeting you on Wednesday coming.
Oh, I look forward to being with you. But one sister told me last night, she says, Queen, I loved everything that you spoke about at the book signing, but what about all the other women of the world? You know, it's just about black women. I says, no.
Yes.
But and in my book it says Global Voices of Angry Vaginas. And I'm not going to go into any of the paragraphs. I'm going to just say that Voices of Angry Vaginas in Morocco. And I have a statement. Voices of Angry Vaginas in Nigeria.
Yes.
Voices of Angry Vaginas in South Africa. Voices of Angry Vaginas in Afghanistan and in China and Thailand and in Mexico. I have a statement because all the women from different realms over the years have come to see me from the Caribbean, from Australia, from Canada, from Guatemala. These are all the women globally that are saying, there needs to be a change. I'm sick, I'm hurting, I'm clotting, I'm bleeding, I'm hemorrhaging, I'm having babies that are beating me up when they come out of me because of my own pain and me and my mate's pain. We were birthing sickness as opposed to wellness, and so I say on closing on common ground. This is a poem that came through me just receiving the women and myself, because I'm the women, and I just as I heal myself, I can help others to heal. Wombs bleeding, clotting, hearts weeping, wailing, hair done, face made up, nails manicured, dressed to the nines, on the job, in the fields, in the factories, behind closed doors, behind the veil. We are on common ground. Praying in the church, kneeling in the mosque, squatting in the sweat lodge, singing in the cathedral, meditating in the shrine. All the while our wombs are screaming, we are on common ground. From everywhere deep inside, corporate workers banging on the glass ceiling, blue-collar workers doing a day's work for a day's pay, city workers going by the rules, freedom fighters and entrepreneurs, mothers and daughters suffer from the same conditions passed down through generations. We drag around our womb stories from one relationship to the next in toxic womb conditions. Womb disregard, womb disrespect, broke down, overused, exhausted wombs. We're rising in the east and we're facing the west. Stretched out in the south, reaching for the north, we're on common ground. Womb stories hidden up under our dresses, loppers, shorts, and jeans. We wear our waist beads, pearls, diamonds, and moonstones, while tucked away behind our bladder in the privacy of our pubic center, years of unresolved pain. Trapped in our toxic reality womb stories, bursting through our veins, reaching for relief. We carry our pain in our purses, backpacks, clutch bags. Can we find ourselves? Can we find our common ground? All of us from the south of common ground and the north of deliverance, from the east of womb consciousness, from the west of womb wellness. We're reaching for our womb recovery. We are women on common ground. We recognize one another, and we draw together with our differences and our sameness to tell our stories. Our tears pour from our wombs and fall onto the ground, common ground. The answers flow onto the dirt, onto the wood, onto the marble on the parquet floor. Our common ground becomes sacred ground, where our medicine grows. Out of our tears, redemption flows. We're here on common ground. So it's not a pointing of the finger that this work overcoming your angry vagina and your angry vagina, but it's ours, because what we really want is redemption. We want peace. We want love. We want to let go, if it's a subtle anger that we left 10 years ago somewhere back inside of our souls that's just sitting there and creating our reality right now. We want to go in there and purge that out. And so in the we go through the rebirth, and we start to say, well, what is my purpose here on earth? Because if I don't live my purpose, I'm also upset and I'm angry that I'm working at this job that I hate, that is making me not want to live and live fully. And so we start to go through that rebirthing process, and then our visions will not die. Our visions will not be aborted. Our visions will live, and they will thrive, and our community will be able to tap into our gifts. And in the final, it's the celebration. I have developed a system called womb yoga, Dance of the Womb. It's 108 poses. You can take 2 or 3 of them and use them to help to flush, to rebirth, to express joy, to break up the mass in the heart that is hurting, in the mind that is disturbed, and in the womb that is festering. It is through these movements and these postures. I will be demonstrating them, and I'll have the women and the men breathe with me as I go through them, just some of them, so that you can see that it's all of these life activities that we can do. We can pull from any one of them and start our journey. It may, for some, may be taking a glass of warm water and lemon to begin to break up the congestion. Someone else, they say, I'll start with taking a healing bath, and I will begin to soak and release. And others, they say, I like the dance, so let me do some of the movements. And others will say, I don't want to dance, but I want to breathe. I want to breathe this stuff out of me. And others will say, I'm a journal. I'll do a womb journal.
Yes.
We're coming out of the mud. On the very cover of the book, there is a lotus.
It's a beautiful cover, I must say. It really is lovely.
Oh.
Yes, it's gorgeous. The lotus flower is gorgeous. And even the color that you've used in the background, very warm.
Well, that was intended. I wanted it to be where we're going. We're going into the more gentle side of ourselves as women, the more loving side. And so the lotus is an African concept for illumination of light. And I put the uterus in the lotus so that that would help to evoke, to bring forth, to charge our womb centers, that we will come out of the mud into a lotus of love and forgiveness, out of the tragedy into the prayer zone, into the loving zone.
That's great. That is really great. Tell me something. I mean, we're about to wrap up just any moment now. Normally, anyone who comes to offer healing to others has also been on a journey themselves. One might ask the question, in order to write a title, Overcoming an Angry Vagina, A Journey to Womb Wellness, that you would have been on some sort of journey similar to that, if not that very journey yourself. Was that the case for you?
Absolutely. I am a part of the human experience. And I remember one time I was seeing 30 clients, and my early years was anger. As I matured, people get angry around me, and I just look at them and pray and give them a glass of water. I don't indulge. I've done so much bathing and so much prayers and so much cleansing, so I don't react the way that the normal upset woman would react. And even if she's upset, I'll tone her down and say, let's talk this through. It's okay. I love you. Let's start right there. And so, but my early years as a mother raising my children, I was a mother, father. You better do this, and I'd push that. And of course, I had my bleeding and my clot. I was a war woman.
Yes.
But I got that led me into having a prolapsed womb. I was in my 30s. I remember I went to in my latter 30s, going to my 40s. I was seeing 10, 20, 30 clients in a week, and everyone was in a crisis. Somewhere that reflected me. I was in a crisis. Everyone's in a crisis. And I remember telling one of my friends who was in my lab doing my formulas, I said, I feel like my womb is dropping down. I feel this pain. And the voice of the womb came to me. She said, go lay down now. I went to the next floor, because that's that inner spirit talking to you.
Yes.
I lay down, and the voice said, put your legs up against the wall. And I did, because I don't want surgery. I don't know what's happening to me. I was losing control, and I put my legs in a 45-degree angle. So I learned later, and how important that is. And I've been doing it ever since. So, and for 10 minutes I stayed there while the voice of the womb started to talk to me. She said, "You have to change. You have toxic womb overload." I said, toxic womb overload? Toxic womb overload. You've taken on too much. You've taken on too much. You haven't processed. You haven't let it go, and it's going to take your womb from you. And so I went away. You know, it took me a minute, but I went away and I had a chance to go. I went to St. Thomas, and I stayed for 6 months with my youngest child, and I put him in school there. And I did sunbaths, and I did clay packs, and because I prayed, I had to get my womb back.
Yes, yes.
And then that I started to do the dance of the womb. I have history of being a yoga teacher and history of a dancer, and I bike, and I jog, and I do all of that. But I condensed it into this form because the womb kept telling me the formula.
Yes.
And that's why I know that we have a voice, and we have it. When we tap in, all I want to do is get the women to start to hear that voice. And when she hears that voice is going to save her very existence.
Yes, yes.
I'm convinced.
Yes, I'm convinced as well. I know that when you get... Sometimes I could be just there lying down, and a voice will just come to me and say things so profound that no one could say that. Yes. And you think, where's that voice come from? And I think, okay,
from within.
That's my inner woman.
Giving you the formula of life, helping you. As you cried out for help is right there in you.
Yes. And so has your family joined you, your children, your husband, have they joined you on this journey?
Yes, well, I've been doing this journey for all these years. It's just that it's coming in the form of a book. I've been giving workshops and classes and seminars, and that's how come I have information. This is not something that is a new, frontier.
Yes.
This is something that has been going on. Even when I go back, I have clients who are waiting for, even when they knew that I was coming out with the book, and the book is only here in London. It's not in the United States yet.
Okay, wow.
I released it here. It will be released in the United States in July.
Yes.
So everybody's saying in the United States, so wait a minute, Queen. But I said, I've been with you for 37 years. Can I, expand and help others? So they're like, okay. But they're waiting because they know this book is out, more of the women are coming to me in the States saying, I don't want a hysterectomy. I'm tired of this pain. I need a consultation. Could you tell me what to do? I need a formula. So I'm there for those who say, I'm ready for change. I want to save my life. I still want to see my doctor. Please do. I work with a medical doctor, Dr. Bernadette Sheridan. She believes in this work. She carries my formulas in her clinic. I have many doctor friends and nurses who are actually living this lifestyle because I believe that the allopathic and the holistic have to come together.
Yes.
So that people don't have to make a choice between one or the other. Can we just choose wellness? And can we have support from both realms? And that's where I stand.
You have been a massive contribution to our communities across the world. And I just pray that your work grows more and more and more.
Thank you.
And I give thanks for the latest book that has come forward, Overcoming an Angry Vagina, Journey to Womb Wellness. You're listening to Ankhobia in conversation with Queen Afua, lecturer, author, healer. She's so many things, and she's going to be coming to our town, our neck of the woods, as we say, Wednesday. And she's going to be appearing at Camp Lane Development Centre, 176 Camp Lane, Relay Industrial Estate, Handsworth, Birmingham. The postcode is B218JA. She's going to be there from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. She'll be giving a lecture and also doing a book signing of her latest book, Overcoming an Angry Vagina. I've had some sisters say to me, oh, I don't like that title. My vagina's not angry. My vagina's not angry. Drop that. Don't worry about that. You've heard the interview so far. You know the sisters coming at it on a higher level. It's not some gross kind of statement. It's a higher level. So come Wednesday and listen to what the sister has to say. We can all learn something. She's also offering private one-to-one consultations. Remember, health and happiness is your birthright, is my birthright, is our birthright. Alright, so if you want a private one-to-one with the sister, you can get your own personal map of wellness with her. She has worked with people like Stevie Wonder, Erykah Badu, Mel Jackson, and many, many more. She's been doing this work for over 35 years, and she's been revered as a healer, not just in her community in New York, but right across America, and she's branching out more and more across the world. Come this Wednesday and meet Queen Afua. I've been reading her books for a few years. I've even been doing some of her yoga from her Sacred Woman book. Yeah, Sacred Woman book. So I've actually tried some of her yoga from that book. And it's fun. It really is fun. I had fun. I had a laugh with myself, dropping all over the place. But I tried.
Yeah.
Queen Afua, Give thanks for the time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come on your show.
Okay, look forward to meeting you Wednesday when you come to Birmingham. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
Well, I'm getting ready to go to Nubian Natural, where they carry my 21-day kit, my formulas to do consultation, and then I do a book signing this evening.
Yes.
And actually, I think that people should take bus, car, loads, however you need to get to, because also I'm going to be doing a one-woman show. If your vagina could speak, what would she say? So it's going to be, heartfelt and sharing and moving. So come out to that. That's going to be my closing of my tour, and then I go back to the States.
That closing tour is going to be back in London?
Well, yes, I'll be back in London. That's going to be the Overcoming an Angry Vagina, the one-woman show.
But Wednesday in Birmingham, it's a lecture and book signing.
Yes, everyone should come out to that. And whatever questions you may have, that would be a wonderful time. It's an open forum. It's welcome to both women and men to come out, to share, to experience, and to begin to love each other that much more in overcoming.
Okay, and I would put a challenge out there to folks listening to this interview. Get a pen and paper now. Write what the sister just says. If my vagina could speak, what would she say? Okay.
Thank you.
And the men? What would they have to ask?
Well, if my Jed, my reproductive system, could speak, what would he say?
Okay.
And I did ask the men, and they will speak. They're shy about it. It's interesting. Women will talk more out.
Yeah.
The women, the men are much slower. They'll change the subject. It's not easy to connect like that. That's our gift. We have it like that.
Yes, and we have to use that gift wisely.
Absolutely, with wisdom.
Yes. Get writing. If my vagina or my Jed could speak, what would she or he say? And then bring it Wednesday.
The channel.
Yeah, bring it Wednesday and share it with the sister. Okay, Sister Queen, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, my brother.
And I look forward to meeting you on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
And many, many thanks again for sharing your wonderful work with us.
Thank you.
All right. Peace and blessings. So there you have it. An interview with Queen Afua. Man, I've wanted to interview that sister for so many, many years. I've been reading her books for years. And you should see her image. Wow. She looks so well. She looks really well. Come along this Wednesday. The entrance fee is only £6. Alright? It's £6 entrance fee. Come along and spend some time with Queen Afua from the United States of America. Her lecture will be Overcoming an Angry Vagina. You've just heard her, so you know it's not some kind of a low-down kind of conversation. She's taking it higher, alright? Overcoming an Angry Vagina. And for all those sisters out there who think their vaginas ain't angry, come along, you never know. Come along, you might learn something. I'm sure you will learn something from the sister. And of course, if you've taken our interview in, then you already know the level the sister is coming at. So that's this Wednesday. Queen Afua comes to Birmingham for a lecture and a book signing. Entrance is £6 down at Camp Lane Development Centre. Come and learn about health, come and learn about happiness. It's our birthright. It's our birthright. And she's just one of the many, many helpers and healers who are out there that's going to be coming along to our town to share her knowledge and wisdom with us. Do not miss this event. It's a one-day event only. New Style Radio 98.7 FM. It's Ankhobia. Take good care and enjoy the rest of your day. Blessed love.
Overcoming an angry vagina, the journey to womb wellness. So this came out of all of the women that I have seen over the years and the circles that I have gathered of women. And what comes out of it is hurt upon hurt upon hurt that will eventually, if not processed, will transform itself into anger, into rage, into womb madness. And so we're going to just acknowledge that there's 3 womb centers that I'm talking about. The womb of the mind, let us all say together, I bless the womb of my mind. I think, I birth, and create. I bless the womb of my heart. For what I feel, I birth, I create. Bless yourself, bless yourself. I bless the womb of my womb, reproductive center. My physical womb. For what I think and what I feel, I birth. And that brings me to this place. First, I want to dedicate this work to those happy wombs, those joyous wombs, those moist wombs, those peaceful wombs, those loved up, vibrant wombs. And I want to dedicate this to those wombs that are bleeding every month for 6, 7, 8 days, 2 weeks, stretched out in the bed in pain and agony. I dedicate this to women who had a fibroid tumor that was removed only for it to return back again a year later. And they had that removed. It came back again a year or 2 later, and then was recommended that they have a hysterectomy. I dedicate this to wombs of women who grew up as women, but still experienced that little girl. There was incest at 4 years old, at 7, at 9, and it went on from 9 to 16 years old. And during that time, the mother looked away, but the mother felt it. She was afraid. And so I dedicate this to our family healing. I dedicate this to women who suffer from menopausal madness, where they should be in a place of womb wisdom and womb divinity, that they're in such pain and agony, mentally, physically, spiritually, and so they suffer from prolapsed wombs. I dedicate this work to men who are loving to their wives, to their mates, compassionate, kind, and they're married to an angry vagina. I dedicate this to the children who are unborn and who are in the womb and will one day travel through and be born through an angry vagina, mama. And that they take on the legacy of their mother's anger and they carry this into the world. I dedicate this work to a woman who met me in the lobby of an office building, frantic, scared to death because she had her 4th miscarriage in her 4th month because the tumor kept growing larger than the baby and it pushed the baby out. She was not able to go full term. I dedicate this work to the mother, became a mother, but she had 11 abortions. I dedicate this to you. I dedicate this to all the women in this room because all of us on some level are carrying some wound, some hurt, some disappointment. I also dedicate this to our men because our men, if we feel this, they feel that. And to the level that we grow is to the level that they will grow and be reborn. And so I think about, in my quiet time last night, I just wrote out, because I always write, and I do everything by hand, so you know I love you a lot, because all my books were done by hand. And then I gave all my writings over to someone to type it and retype it, and then I get it back and retype it some more. And so it can go on for years and years. This book went on for 9 years. This was not just overnight. Sacred Woman took 7 years. City of Wellness took 3 years. So it was always Heal Thyself took 1.5 years. And so I actually hear you, I listen to you, I feel you from here to across the world, and then I write down what I receive, and I write it as a channel. But when I was just writing last night, I just wanted to see, so I'm going to say what I wrote last night. This is not in the book, but this is already, it's in the book in different ways. And the condition of the seed the condition of the ovum, is the raw material that makes us up. So if our mothers and fathers were sick and hurt and angry and disappointed, that's the portal gate in which we come through. So we have, at the very beginning, we have healing to do, at the very onset. And then if a child is not, a little girl or a little boy is not covered, watched, protected, maybe there's incest for that child. The age that the women usually tell me is age 4, 6, and 9. Be mindful. Watch your children. And if you see any signs, you must pay close attention and then do an alert. There has to be major family detoxing. Because it usually moves up until the child is 16 years old. And why 16, 15? Is because they get enough strength to move out, to leave out, to run away for their lives. But that little girl is still suffering at age 30 and 40 and 50. And I tell her, go back to the little child under the bed who has her legs wrapped around her, in the shower, in the corner, who has her legs wrapped around, in the closet, underneath the bed. Go back if it's you, and you go and get her as a grown woman, and you tell her it's okay. And you bring her out of that, and you begin to do the work to recover and to heal her. And it's not to be enraged, but it's to understand also 400 years of chattel slavery, we could do it to a people. When the man was a stud, and he would have to have sex with his mother, his auntie, his daughter, whomever, to continue to strengthen and proliferate slavery and the economics of this system. So it goes into, we're going to protect, and as we go into our adult, teenage to adult, there is the date rape, there is the marital rape, there is the stranger rape, there is the sex for material. We have marriages, and we say, well, he's abusive, but I'm going to be here as we're sharing in the mortgage. So then there is womb castration as a rites of passage for many African tribes, circles. And then there is the abortions that start as a teenager and work themselves up as adults. And then there is looking for daddy through your mates, looking for that. If you were not loved and nurtured by your father, we then look for daddy and this man and that man. If you did not have a close relationship, it's more like a hit and run friend, a hit and run lover. Somebody just moves through and you're left hurt and broken because you're only going to continue to bring to yourself what you feel inside your soul. And as you begin to heal yourself, then you get a different relationship. So all the sisters right now say, I love you, Daddy. And I sound a little weak. Do it, say it anyway, because your father did the best he could. And sometimes the best thing you can do is leave. And your mother, who's abusive or was trying not to be abusive, and she gave you over to grandmother, she did the best she could, and she gave you over to the right one. So whatever the stresses of this life that impose upon us in this system, we are going to open ourselves up to healing and restoring ourselves. And then what about the STDs and the toxic partners? We have to detox ourselves, and then we have to detox our mate. There's no kiss. You don't know what do we exchange? We have to clean up. We have to clean, detox for at least a season, and then we can consider. And in that way, you also get a chance to meet who you're meeting, because otherwise, if you say, I finished one relationship, you go into the next relationship, there's no break, because we want somebody to hug us and hold us again. So there's no break. So you just repeat the same cycle again. The outfit changed, the job changed, the conversation changed, but it's the same relationship, because until we heal, we keep proliferating the same relationships over and over again. Has anyone ever experienced that before? Yeah. It looks a little different. The head wrap, the clothing, the outfit, the style, but it ends up after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Wait a minute, did I repeat this? Did I do this before? And then you can't get mad with no attitude because you say, because you know what to do? You say, that happened the last 3 relationships back. Then it happened the last one, and now it's happening again. I don't like men. Men are this, that, and the third, but it's really who? It's you. It's yourself. You keep returning back to the same situation because you didn't have that time in between to really focus, realign, and heal, and charge yourself. And then you go into, as you mature, you have your PMS and your clotting and stretched out in the bed and taking your painkillers to kill the pain. You're actually numbing and killing your womb. And over time, that's what happens. And so our menstrual flow may be 7, 8, 10 days when it really should be no more than 1, 2, or 3 days with no pain, no stress. Would you like that? How about that? And you're always shocked when it happens. You say, wait a minute, I didn't have pain, but how do they call it a friend? My friend is coming, bam, on the floor, in pain, throwing up. That's not a good friend. But if you start to heal yourself holistically, naturally, your womb could have womb peace, womb harmony, womb wellness. And then we go into then cyst. By the time we're 28, 30 years old, we're now carrying a tumor. We move from a cyst, we graduated from a cyst in our early 20s into a tumor. All the tumor in the cyst is discharge of mucus consumption from dairy, milk, cheese, ice cream, eggs, from flesh food, from white flour products. It crystallizes in the womb. And that's what a tumor is. So for us to have a hysterectomy because of dairy and flesh and white flour products, that's not a good thing. And it's unnecessary. You can actually break it up like a common cold. And when you start working with this book, what will happen is your womb becomes liquefied. And instead of having it lasered cut out, it will come out as a discharge. It will just start to drain out. Isn't that peaceful? Womb detox, womb healing. Then we don't have to have any more hysterectomies. Not another surgery has to be taken because of a womb congestion. You have womb congestion, you can soften, you can break it up, and you can let it pass away holistically. Because after you have that first tumor removed, there will be a second one, a year, 2 years later, and a third one. And because you haven't done your wellness work early on, menopause is now a crisis. Now, every woman, when you hit menopause, get a beautiful fan. And just, I'm sure. But it's not like that. It's like, you're stressed out. You got these things like itching in your body. You're yelling at people. You're off and you're mean. But if you do your womb works, then you'll be a sweet, mature woman, kind and compassionate and loving. Because why we get angry is because all the relationships that did not work. And all the relationships that failed you and that you felt abandoned or said something but then really did something different. And so your womb reflects that. Your womb has a memory. It remembers everybody who went inside. What they did, how they did it, what they left. So our womb's going to go through a womb rejuvenation. Don't you think so? And a womb detoxification, right? We need to raise the vibration of our wombs. And anyway, do you want a new world? Yeah. If you want a new world, then get with this mindset. Because actually, the reason why we're birthing children who sometimes abuse us. And who are violent to themselves and violent to their own community and violent to their family, because that's our state of consciousness, and what we think and what we feel translates into our womb, which are human beings. So as we begin to take our journey to womb wellness, every thought that you birth out is on high frequency. And every human being made of your own flesh and blood will be birthed out of you on the highest frequency. So those will be the saviors of the world. Those would be the golden children. Those would be those divine children, those divine souls, the returning ancestors who come to do a great and powerful and mighty work, starting from your high consciousness of your mind that you have cultivated like a beautiful garden, from your heart that you have forgiveness for all, so you don't pass that non-forgiving spirit down and through the child that grows up and gives it back to you. And then if not addressed and we don't heal ourselves through our menopause, then by the time we're 55 or 50 years old, we're having a hysterectomy. Now, some may not. Some may just carry the womb that is worn, that is tired, that is toxic into the end of their life. But we don't have to carry ourselves to that place. This work is based on 5 portals. And the first portal deals with the guide. So I'm going to give you this is going to be emailed for those who leave their email address, but I'm going to give you 7 works to do to begin to heal yourself. And I know that overcoming an angry vagina is an intense title. It's intense. And I'd be able to stand up here and actually talk about overcoming an angry vagina. But it really is about After you and as you go through your womb transformation, you're really going through a journey to womb wellness. It is a journey to womb healing. It is a journey to womb recovery. It's a journey to womb cleansing and purging. You become your own healer, and you then can heal yourself. Let's say that affirmation. I am my own healer.
I am my own healer.
And I am healing myself.
I'm healing myself.
I'm healing the womb of my mind,
I'm healing the womb of my mind,
the womb of my heart,
the womb of my heart,
and my physical wound center.
and my physical wound center.
And I'm going to give you 7 ways in which to do that. Write down womb yoga is one. And I have 108 poses from womb yoga to dance in the womb in the very last chapter, the very last portal of the book. As you do the movements, the body begins to break up the congestion. I'm so grateful for our sister who did the dance. That was very divine, very divine. Then we have the womb baths. The womb baths allows the body to soften up and to break that mass. You can even take your healing bath this evening and see a womb change. Take your Epsom salt, your Dead Sea salt, 1 or 2 pounds. Put your lavender. All of you have your oils and your flower essences and your stones, because all you are all in that, right? You're all in that. So you have things. We just have to activate and use them. And by being in that, drink yourself 2 or 3 glasses of warm water with lemon or lime, and that will begin to soften. And then massage your womb. Massage the blockage in a circular motion over several times. That will begin to break up the mass, and you have a relationship with your womb for womb healing. And we don't have to get sick to start to prevent. You can actually talk to your mothers, your grandmothers, your aunties, and find out where your womb is going. It's going somewhere because it's in the bloodline. So if you say, they say, well, you know, I did have a tumor some years ago. We didn't talk about it. And the reason why I went away for a few days, I was actually getting a hysterectomy. He said, okay, that is your life. That is your future. And your present is your daughter's future. So as you heal yourself and prevent, then you don't have to go down that road. You can go up the road, up the journey. And then do your womb breathing, deep breath, and we're going to do that. And then your womb clay packs. I brought products. Actually, it's a Nubian Natural through Brother Johnny and Queen Yinka, King and Queen. They actually released a book here in London. It's not released in the United States. And everybody's like, well, what? Why are you releasing this in London? You know you release everything in New York. Well, everything is destiny. It's just destiny that the work moves out. And it's supposed to be released here. This book will not be released in New York until July. So everyone's just saying, well, how can we get the book? Come to London. I don't know. You know, Amazon.com. And then to keep a womb journal. So these are some of the works you can do to begin to heal yourself. So inside of the first portal is guidance. And with using the guidance, I use 5 elements to heal. And you will become a master of those elements. The elements are within us, and the elements are outside of us. And in nature, if you can tune into your own inner elements and see where they're deficient, we are made up of air, breath, life-giving foods, breathing, fire, the sun, the light, our reproductive organs, our bloodstream, purified womb, purified blood, earth, the foods, the vegetation that comes out of the earth. If we eat the foods that come from the earth, then we will be safe. And the more of that we take in, the greater our healing. And I hear there's a disease called SAD here. Okay, you know how you can overcome that? Is to take green, because the sun life goes into the plants. And through photosynthesis, we take it in and we're eating sunlight. When you eat sunlight, how is your disposition? Alive, joyous, happy, instead of abundance. So in that time, if you take enough green, you will fortify your womb, and your womb will begin to vibrate at such a high frequency that if, I'll give you a little example. Suppose you have done your healing work for a season, and you're taking all this green juices and your herbs and all of this, and your body at such a rate, but you say, you know, I'm lonely, I just want a man. Don't ever say that again in your life, because you're just going to get a man. But what else you going to get, I don't know. But your womb will be vibrating at such a level, okay, okay, well, he's going to come over tonight. Well, let me set up the house. Let me light the candles. Let me get everything ready. And the whole womb centers are all open. And then you get close to each other. You know what your womb will say? Ah! Your womb will ask you like, oh, what happened? Okay. Oh, excuse me. You know what? It was so good seeing you, brother. And you go into the basement. Wait, now, what's going on here? Womb, are you trying to tell me something? Yes, you did this before. Now just quit it. You're going to go through the same thing all over again? All right. Thank you so much. This is a womb conversation. See, because I remember when my womb first spoke to me. And that sounds a little strange, but we, inside of our body, there's a conversation. We just don't tune into it, so we don't know what's going on. We have to wait for somebody outside to tell us what we already have inside of us, but we haven't activated our inner power. And so what is our greatest thing for women is our intuition. If we can live off of that, then we can make a world shift. And so inside of us, I remember I was seeing like 30 clients a week, and the end of that week, I felt this pull. And I said, I am not going to no hospital. I went through this whole thing of what could happen because it felt like, this is it. The womb said, go upstairs. I said, okay. I went upstairs. It's only in my consciousness. The womb said, lay down. I lay down. Said, put your feet up in 45-degree angle. I did. Now take your hands, put them over your womb and start to talk to me. Yes, what do you want? And then the womb started to tell me, you need rest. You have womb overload. You've taken in too many people's problems. You need to, So it gave me a whole list. And then as healing continued, it then started giving me the dance of the womb, the 25 womb rejuvenation techniques, the herbs that would be best for the womb, the prayers, the affirmation, the womb soup, the womb. I kept getting all this download from the womb. She said, I've been trying to talk to you for a long time. And so I started to record, I started to hear, and I started to talk to other women. What's going on in your womb? Some things we left back years ago and we thought we were just fine. And most of the times we're okay. But that's something that happened a year ago, 5 years ago, is still festering. And you say, why do I keep attracting negative things to myself? Why do I get into arguments? Because it is in your subconscious that you pocketed it. You placed it down deep and you got up and you kept moving, but that still stayed with you and it kept coloring and shaping your entire life. And so now this is our time to go in. Because I hear women saying, my womb is happy. I don't know about you. I don't know why, but we're in this room together. I know I've had some womb issues and I've been doing a healing work for 36 years. I go all 3 of my children in through cesarean section, so I had some womb issues. They had to cut me open each time. And then the second child, when they cut me open, my daughter was pulled up out because I wanted to be awake. So I call her my Purple Heart, because I actually was awake while I'm being cut and she being pulled out of my body because I wanted to have a connection, because the first child I didn't have a connection to. I had to grow a connection because I wasn't conscious in the birthing process. And that's because I lived off of junk food, fried food, processed food all my life until I was 17 years old. So you pay a price for whatever you do. I had flesh, I had dairy, I had fried, I had white flour products, I ate late at night, went down to sleep. Whose life is like that right now? So if you didn't like that, you're going to a woman, you're not even conscious of it, but it's going to show up. It shows up little by little through how long you bleed. If you're bleeding 6, 7, 8 days, 2 weeks, your woman is already in a crisis. She is screaming. You don't know. You say, hi, how are you doing? The woman's going through changes. And so she will talk to you. She says, I'm in pain. Your whole world stops now because I'm in pain. But if you give her what she needs, it's like a baby who keeps pulling on you and crying, Mom, and they keep pulling on you, and you keep ignoring it, and then they start acting out more and more. Well, that's what your womb does. She says, okay, you don't hear me that I'm bleeding? Or you don't hear me after the hemorrhaging? Or you don't hear me after the clot? Well, maybe you might hear when you go to the doctor and you have a tumor. Oh, you don't hear me the first time, so now maybe you have to go get another one. So by the time women come to see me, they're exhausted. They're like, Queen, this is my second removal of the tumor. I'm tired of this. I've been bleeding 2 weeks, and even after the surgery, I'm still bleeding. I'm still in pain. All that is totally unnecessary. So I help you through air, fire, water, earth, ether, working with the elements to heal yourself. There is a prayer that we can take on. This is an ancient African prayer, and it's on the temple walls, and this will help you to know who you are as a woman. You're a healer. But in order to help your family, who do you have to heal first? Yes. And your family relies on you even if you're bent out of shape, tired, and worn. Don't they still? Yes. And when you're bent out of shape, tired, and worn, and they still rely on you, you get what? You get what? You better say it loud. Okay, let's admit you get angry. How come they all need me? They keep calling my name. He needs me. They need me. Everybody needs me. But if you don't give yourself what you need, you will have a wound that has an attitude. And it will show up. So this is about giving yourself. This is an affirmation for you, but also who you are. That's why you got to heal yourself. Because you're going to have to keep giving because it's the nature of a woman. Say, I am the woman.
I am the woman
who lightens the darkness. I have come to lighten the darkness. It is lightened. I am there for those who weep, who hide their faces, who sunk down. They looked upon me then. I am a woman. What does that say? We're healers. Our ancestors told us that's who we are. So a healer who is hurting and sick, what kind of work can they give? Not their best work. But a healer who is loving, patient, and compassionate and healed up, what can they give? How do they serve? With joy, with gladness. So as we heal ourselves, we help and heal all our relations. And that's the first portal, which is the guiding that moves us into the stories, the circle. The circle is when we gather together, and I'm going to charge you to form circles of wellness, womb healing circles. It can be 2 or 2 or more gathered. It could be 3, 4, 8, 10, 20. It could be all women in this room and say, listen, we're going to meet at this place. We meet at your house. We're going to meet, and we're going to begin to share. But when you have a circle, what is said in the circle has to do what? Because if you come out and, girl, you know what happened to her womb in that circle, that was something else. You saw that talk. On the other end of town, somebody else said, girl, you know what happened to her womb story? All that. No, it's in a circle. So say all that stuff in the circle. Because we can't gossip because that will destroy the circle. The circle has to be loving. People have to be able to trust, to be able to share. Otherwise, we just keep a secret and we don't help each other. And so in that opens up you to your voice of the womb. And the voice I'm going to give, I want 4 sisters who feel like they can just say one word that their womb is saying, but I want everyone to close their eyes and go inside for a minute. And I want you to breathe into your womb of your mind, your heart, your sacred seed. Rub your hands together like fire. Create a fire. This is your radiation therapy treatment. This is your laser surgery. Now place over your womb center. Breathe in deep and exhale out. 4 times. Inhale deep and exhale out. And inhale deep and release all the tension, all the stress. Connect to your womb, connect to the womb center, connect to your voice. Your womb has a voice and she wants to say something in a word, in a sentence. She wants to say, she wants to connect. She's been waiting for you to ask her. She's been waiting for you to connect and go inside so that she can give you your formula for forgiveness, your formula for building, your formula for restoring her. She wants to share with you. She wants to flush out that pain that you experienced with her. And she has pain and she wants to restore the balance, the harmony. Breathe in deep. Who are those 4 women who have courage to stand up for the other women? Raise your hand. 1. Mm-hmm. Who is the second? 2. Who's 3? Mm-hmm. 4. Okay. Your womb speaks, and she speaks volumes to you, but in this moment she can speak a word or a few sentences. And I want you to go in and share, because what happens if you can speak, you will help another sister tonight when she goes into her bath and she does her meditation and she then begins to journal. She'll begin to write out her formula for healing, for forgiveness, for renewal, for restoring, for saving her womb, because she might only have 20 days before surgery. And you might be the one, your tone might be the one to help her. So the first sister, your womb speaks and it has a voice of its own. What does your womb say? Who's number one? Who is the first one? It doesn't matter, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Come on, sister.
Peace.
Peace. Your womb, come up. All 4 of you come up. It's coming up. We'll sing. I can hear my womb healing, healing me. Everyone. I can hear my womb healing, healing me. I can hear my womb healing, healing me. Your womb wants to connect. Not another hysterectomy. Say, not another hysterectomy.
Not another hysterectomy.
Not another tumor removed surgically.
Not another tumor removed surgically.
Because I can heal my womb.
Because I can heal my womb.
Big thanks. What does your womb say?
I'm tired. You're not listening. You know what to do.
And what is your womb telling you to do? To heal, to overcome the tiredness.
Use my herbs.
And why have you not used your herbs?
Because I haven't been listening.
We haven't been listening. Are you willing to listen now?
I am.
Yes. You dance beautifully. So the same as you dance, make the tea. And make the tea while in the kitchen while you're dancing. But make your herbs. And that would heal you. Right? You have daughters.
I have daughters.
So you have to do that for them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So say, bless your womb. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping me.
Thank you for helping me.
Give thanks. Your womb speaks, and what does she say?
It says it's my womb is tired. It wants to stay within myself. It wants to see or hear no more wombs being taken out from all our women. It is saying it's just tired.
Mm-hmm. And so your womb, what does she want you to do so she will overcome the tiredness?
Take rest. I need rest.
And how will you rest? Ask her, how should we rest?
How should we rest? She'd like more sleep. Think more about myself and my womb rather than all the women that I touch their wombs. And think more about healing me.
Yes. This is your time?
This is my time.
So you will heal you in your womb?
So I will heal me and my womb.
You promise?
So that it can stay within me.
Absolutely. Give thanks. Your womb, what does she say? Let's stay connected. As I move with me. Okay? This is how close we're going to have to be to ourselves. What you do? You have some tea? I got some tea. You got some clay? You got some castor? What you got? Okay? I'm crazy. I need somebody to come up and say, this is my circle. Come. Look, I'm going through some movie. I'm going to do my job. I'm going through some movie. Oh, my gosh. I need some help. Sisters, could y'all come to my house? I need somebody to buy me a bath. Could somebody buy me a healing bath? I just can't seem to get the salt is there. The herbs and everything. I just can't seem to get it together. Could you make me some green juices? I know I can heal. I've been bleeding. I've been clotting. My woman's tired. I'm exhausted. Could you give me some of those movements, those dance movements you've been doing? Oh my gosh. Oh, great. Okay. Thank you, my sister. Oh, we're a womb circle. Oh, I feel so much better. Thank you for the bath. Thank you for the movements. Thank you for the juicing. Thank you for the herbs. And if you ever need womb help, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to serve you the same way you serve me. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. That's the closeness. That's why we got to be like this to heal our wounds and to say, I'm not going to let my womb come out of my body. Because when you get that and you feel like, what else am I going to do but have it removed? Inside of my book, there is a woman who gave her womb over to me on paper. She ran behind me at a retreat. And she said, Queen, I think you need this. She had a hysterectomy, and her womb is in the book. And do you know what happened? She was getting she had medical help for 30 more days. She didn't know where to go, she didn't know she had a womb wellness choice. So she said, well, if I don't get this in these next 30 days, this hysterectomy, and if I have to get a hysterectomy later on, I won't have the money. So I'll be just in trouble. So before she even connected, she had a hysterectomy at 30 days left. So she went ahead and had a hysterectomy. So you look in the book, you'll see her uterus on the table next to the doctor's hands, and 100 tumors surrounding it. And that was a donation to you, so that you will say, that is where I could be, on the table. So tonight you're going to make a point to say, no more. No more womb removal. I can do this. It is not a mystery. I'm here to break up the mystery. And so, yes, it's a crazy title, Overcoming, but it's real. Because that's how real it is for us. And when you're in your own space and you're just literally on the floor, I remember being on the floor. Don't mind me. Do you remember being on the floor? Yeah. Crawling, crying. Yep. And you don't know what to do, so you get some painkillers that numb your womb out. Who knows about painkillers? But when that's killing the pain, it's also killing your womb, right? Yeah. So when a woman in the circle said, and I said, okay, well, sisters, lay down, relax, connect to your womb. And I went around, what does your womb say? She said, my womb feels nothing. My womb feels numb. My womb feels dead. But her womb was still there. So it was on its last leg, but we had to put life back into it. And in a circle like this, it can happen. Okay, what does your womb say?
Love, peace, and honor.
Break it down. Oh, you did it? Is it love, peace, and honor?
Pink.
So that means you take care of your womb. Yes?
I do good.
How many days is your menstrual flow?
3.
3, nice. Has it always been 3?
Yeah. Pain-free as well.
Pain-free? Are you vegetarian?
I am.
Oh, okay. I rest my case. Okay, give us a hint.
So that was quite nice.
Oh, quite lovely. Okay. Well, you know, that's what it is, because what disturbs the womb is flesh eating. What disturbs the womb is dairy. What disturbs the womb are white flour products. The fast food generation, our daughters are in trouble. Their wombs are they're in their 20s, and their wombs are like 45-year-old wombs. Because of the fast food that ages the body, it's no life. If you have an empty relationship, what does an empty relationship give you? Yes, it does. It gives you what? Stress. What else does an empty relationship give you? Pain. What else does an empty relationship give you? What? Our heartache. That is what an empty relationship gives you. What happens when you have an empty relationship with food, which food has no value? Junk foods, processed foods, microwave foods, it's all dead. What happens when you have an intimate relationship with dead food?
You become what you eat.
You become what you eat. Your womb begins to die. All of your womb centers, they shut down. So the more fast food, the quicker you die in your womb. So we're changing that tonight, aren't we? We're making a concern, and we're addicted. That's why I have these formulas, because we're addicted. So we have to break the cycle. All right. Thank you, because you set it off. You said, no more than 3 days. No more than 3 days should you bleed with no pain, which means that her future, she will not have a fibroid tumor. That's what that means.
Hopefully.
Do you have any children?
No.
And when you have children, you know how long your birthing process will probably be? 4 to 8 hours. It will not be. It will not be 24 hours, 36 hours, and then possibly you have to have a hysterectomy because your womb is trauma. The baby's in trauma. The baby can hardly get its breath because it's been such in a crisis. So that's what your future will be. And when you become a mature woman, you won't have an imbalanced menopausal state. And then your womb won't prolapse. Because all of that congestion in your colon will be sitting down on your womb and it's been prolapsed. Then when your womb gets prolapsed, you can't have intercourse. So then what? You get a second wife? Okay, let's go next. You're killed before that happens. So we better lift up our wombs right now. Okay, no prolapsed wombs. Okay, your womb speaks about this.
I saw words like sister next to me, and I saw bright light, love, and discipline.
What state is your womb now?
I'm at the long cycle.
Love, how many days?
6 to 7.
Okay, you ready to change that?
I'm ready. I have 3 children.
Yes.
And I all have cesarean also. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you already went through the trauma. So you need castor oil packs, clay packs, and nice hot baths, a whole bunch of love. You ready to take your journey to more wellness? Are you ready? Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Thank you, my sisters. Much love to our circle. Oh, isn't a moon circle fulfilling? Don't you feel fulfilled was watching it? We feel fulfilled, don't we, sisters? Don't we feel rich and loved up and charged up? And then we go home from our circles, we can be loving to our men. Jackie won't be short with our children. We'll be pleased to go to work the next day because we are charged and we have fortified ourselves in a circle of not women who are calling because they're mad on the phone, angry, but because we have charged ourselves, and in that we are healed. And so we look at the third is storm after, or calm after the storm. And so I won't go into it. I'll just go right to the point. Instead of saying I'm a cursed woman, in some spiritual houses we're cursed. You know about the curse? And so because we're cursed, according to the written word, because we're cursed, we're supposed to have pain. So we accept it. We're supposed to have pain because we're cursed and we brought down humanity. And then on top of being cursed, and we're going to be cursed every month, and from the time that we're born, or the time that we have our first menstrual flow of being cursed, until either we have a child, or until we have until we go to menopause, we're going to be cursed. And I remember I was 12 years old and I got my menstrual flow, and I wanted to die. I said, oh my gosh, I'm 12 years old. What is happening to me? I want to die now. Okay, all right, I'm not going to die, but I want to be 45. Because I heard when you're 45 that you don't have a menstrual flow anymore. I'm going to let go 20-some years of my life so that I would not have that pain every month. I said, okay, is this being a woman? So now I got to prepare myself by throwing up, being nauseous, sitting in my mother's kitchen, putting 3 chairs together, because that's where my mother was all the time in the kitchen. So I had to be near her energy just to feel some kind of comfort, because the drug still was not helping. Okay. So that's why I am possessed by giving this information, because it was my own personal life. And I already know what you're going through. I already know what you're going through. You come and tell me, Queen, my room is just fine. I says, I know. Let's sit down with me for 10 minutes and we'll get in there. We'll get in there and we'll pull that stuff out of you so you can really be free and loving and lifted and charged. And so we're not going to say, I'm no longer a cursed woman.
I'm no longer cursed.
I am not a cursed woman. I am a blessed woman. With a smile. I'm a blessed woman 4 times. I'm a blessed woman. I'm a blessed woman. I am a blessed woman. I am a blessed woman. Words have power. You speak it yourself into existence. Speak your blessings up. You're not going to carry this pain and this agony. Being a woman is a great gift. To be a healer is the greatest gift you can possibly have. So why am I going to be cursed if I'm a healer? Because of my very nature of compassion and mercy. How could I now be cursed when I'm truly a blessing? To anyone who comes near me, I'm going to bless you. But if we're not charged up, fired up healers, then we won't be a blessing. We'll be a curse to our own selves until we get liberated, until we heal up and be whole women. And then it goes into the 4th portal. And the 4th portal is when we go through the rebirth into our work. So, you get certain gifts when you can hold on to your wellness long enough. Then you open up to another level. And that next level is when you begin to live your purpose. Who's living their purpose right now? Raise your hand.
I think I am.
I see hands going like, okay, but we're almost there. About 21 days of cleansing, you're going to be all the way there, sister. Okay, who would like to live their purpose? Throw your hands up in the air. Okay, so that means we have to do some work to get there. It may take a season. It won't take too long. But you're going to have to be prepared to go through your process of listening. Get up in the mornings between 4 and 6 and begin to hear your inner voice. Your inner voice is going to give you, go to bed early, don't eat late. Go to bed early, don't eat late. Because we're waking up with a food hangover, so we can't wake up and hear anything. If you eat junk food, processed food, fried foods, flesh foods at nighttime, you will be processing that at 12 o'clock midnight when you're trying to sleep. And so you're having nightmares as opposed to visions. But when you start to live off of high frequency food, fruits and vegetables, nuts, whole grains, water, tea, herbs, mud packs over the womb, then after a few days, you start to wake up with mental clarity and you start to wake up with vision. Each book was a vision. Each work is a vision. And when the vision comes, it will tell you all the details when, how, where you are to birth yourself. Do you know we're the most prosperous people in the world? Because we have the melanin. We got the goods. So if you can act like you know you got the goods, then all you got to do is like this. Oh, thank you, Most High. 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you told me that if I just tune in and if I would just purify and cleanse myself, I would hear the message. I would hear the voice of the Most High just talk through my soul. And then you just record it. And then you follow instructions to the letter. That's why I'm here, because I was following instructions. I said, how am I going to be here for 3 weeks? What's going to happen to my sister? They said, just go. I'll take care of you. I know you're a little bit nervous, but just go ahead anyway. I will take care of everything. So it will not fall apart when you leave. You just go ahead and you help the others, because the work has to move out, because too many women are crying and screaming and have no clue on how to heal themselves. So in the rebirth, I want everybody to stand up on this one. And just right, left, right, left. Right, left, right, left. I remember Bobby Sean, you told me, well, we kind of off. Okay, well, let's kind of. We're going to bump into each other. Ah, that's a oneness. Can we get a oneness going in here? All right. Yes. Okay. With a smile in your heart. And I remember Bobby Shangi, he's now an ancestor. He told me, he says, you would always remind me, that God's work is indestructible. We're indestructible. And your visions are indestructible. They're inside of you. And you can bring them forth. You can squat down literally and see it. You can bathe yourself and massage your womb centers, and you can begin to bring it forth. You say, I need to be making my living doing something that I love, not something that I hate. Not something that makes me mad and crazy, but something that makes me glad and joyous. I need to be able to walk my path every day and be who I really am. I need to rebirth myself and be myself and live and dwell within my real true nature. I need to be able to give in a way that is in harmony. Ishe Olua, call and response. Kole Bajeo, Ishe Olua. Kule Bajeo. Again. Ishe Olua. Harmonize. Kule Bajeo. Ishe Olua. Come on, y'all got harmony. Come on, my eyes. Kule Bajeo. Again, harmony. Come in here. Ishe, make it sweet. Olua. Kule Ishe Olua, Kole Bajeo. Don't put a movement to it. Ishe Olua, Kole. Somebody hold this mic for me so I can show you what I'm doing. You're gonna do rhythm. I'm giving you a lot to do, but you got the power. Keep it going. Is she falling up? It's gonna be too much for her arm. Okay. Oh, you can stand by your future. Ishe Olua. Now this was the dance. So below. Ishe Olua. Kole Bajeo. Ishe. What you know? You're blessing your mind, your heart. My sister, come on, you got it. Come on with me. Come on with me. Right. Ishe Olua. Kole Bajeo, Ishe Olua, Kole Bajeo. Contraction, okay? Ishe Olua, Kole Bajeo, Ishe Olua, Kole Bajeo. Give yourself a big hand. How old are you? 8. This is why we must do this work. This is why we must do this work, because one day she'll be 80. One day she'll be 18. One day she'll be 45. And we don't want her to carry pain of being a woman. Because if mother carries her pain in silence, you think your child doesn't see it. They know you more than anyone else knows you. They feel you. So when you're happy, they feel that. When you love being a woman, they feel that. I watched them you dance, and your daughters looked at you and they said, oh my gosh, that's my mother. They felt so rich and so empowered. So anything that we do that's good for us, our daughters and our sons receive that medicine. So we thank you. Thank you. And we thank our future. We thank, give our future a big hand. Go Weldon! And then finally, if one can have a seat for a minute, finally we have the celebration. After we've gone through our rebirth, and we know that our vision doesn't die, and that we're incredible. We are incredible beings. And as we begin to take the journey and do the work and do the formulas and do the healing, we begin to really activate. And then there's joy. There's joy after all of this. After all of the struggles and the pain, is there joy? Sister, there's joy? There's joy? Can we just say amen on the joy? And a woman on the joy? A woman. Yes. And so in our celebration of ourselves, there is a dance. I'm going to do a small dance. It's and you're going to do a breath with it. I'm going to dance on your breath. And it's really 108 poses. I'm only going to do 39, but they're going to be so quick you won't even know. But each of the poses actually reflects a state of consciousness. It works with consciousness. It works with breath. It works with movement and rhythm. So I want you to breathe now. Inhale deep and exhale. Rhythm. And it's the 5th and last portal. This is one on the temple walls. We call forth our ancestors to help us to heal, that they will come through us in this time. And so the rocks, the stones begin to speak, and they move, and we begin to remember. So they say our way is dead. They say our way is no more, and that the ancient healing Nile Valley legacy in the thousands of years ago, but we are here. And we do remember, it is large in our DNA, tapped down deep in our melon, our Kumor, so we traveled deep within. And we fasted and we prayed. And then one day, one by one, then 2 by 2, then thousands began to wake up to our ancient healing practice. Everything that is holistic is African natural lifestyle. Everyone else gets the credit because we're not standing up and saying it. All my research brings us back to the beginnings, the original people. So I want you to say this: African natural lifestyle. African natural lifestyle. Reiki. Just you say African natural lifestyle. Do you know the script? All you say, I want you to say all the stuff in hours. I'm claiming it all back, okay? I'm claiming it all back. I'm claiming all of it back. It's all mine. Thank you very much. All you're supposed to say is what? African natural lifestyle. Reiki. African natural lifestyle. Massage therapy. African natural lifestyle. Fasting. African natural lifestyle. Vegetarian lifestyle. African natural lifestyle. Astrology. African natural lifestyle. Holotherapy. African natural lifestyle. Aromatherapy. African natural lifestyle. Cleansing. African natural lifestyle. Colon health. African natural lifestyle. All of it's African natural lifestyle. So when you look at holistic health, all of that is African natural lifestyle. This is what our ancestors did to heal ourselves. And we use the elements to strengthen, to detox. We would go into a space that may be as small as this space, and we would fast for 3 to 4 days, and we would have symbols on the wall. One symbol might have Ma'at, which means in these 3 days you're going to move into balance, truth, and righteousness and harmony. And you might see another symbol for Kepra, and you're going to experience a transformation. All of that is our culture. So when we take on wellness, and we can reclaim our wombs in this wellness, all of our womb centers, and we now begin to sit on our seat of power.
Everyone sitting in your seat of power. Your seat is your throne. Sitting in your seat of power is your throne. Your throne is here. That's your throne. Your feet are aligned with your knees are aligned with your shoulders. Sit like Hatshepsut in Imhotep. Because it is in that state of divinity, it is in that state of oneness that you can bring forth all of the power of our ancestors to restore us as a people so that we birth geniuses, that we birth wholeness, that we rebirth ourselves. And so we go on the walls, breathe, and and we drum, and we wake up the drum within us. In all four corners of the earth, we wake up all the women to heal, that we can be reborn again women, strong women, and we begin to fly like falcons, like birds, we fly, and we plant seeds of wellness. What seed are you planting? Call it out.
Seeds of wellness.
Come on, grow. Come on.
Harmony. Peace.
Breathe while you say it. Come on. Gotta work. You have to work for your healing. You don't get it. Come on, planting your seeds. Come on. Go ahead. Prosperity, justice. Come on.
Balance.
Balance. Love. Prosperity. Harmony. Unity. Oneness. Power. Strength. And then you spread your seeds over the land. Once you get them activated, then you spread them, right? And then you say, ancestors, continue to help me. I will listen. I will listen up on high, and I will protect my womb. I will not just give my womb over just to anyone, because I honor it. It's the seat of life. It's the doorway to our eternity. And then you make a note that you will always protect yourself. And you stir the pot and make the tea. Stir the pot and take that green juice. Stir the pot in your bag. And you'll gather your womb of your mind, the womb of your heart, and move your sacred center. Give thanks.
Well, before I close out, I just want to say one thing. I brought some next steps. You have to have next steps. If you don't have next steps, you'll leave out saying that was really great. Okay? Look at the book, it's all written. It's been written in all of the books. It's just written from different perspectives, different ways, trying to reach any and every and all of us so that we can begin to activate. And literally this is calling women from all tribes. Sacred Woman was for women who are focused into culture, but all women are not. So should they be left out? Should our mothers be left out? No. Should our young daughters be left out of this? Should our sisters who are different tribes and different spiritual houses be left out of this healing work? No. No, it's for all the women. And if it's for all the women, it's for all of our men. Because one thing I have been noticing is that the men have been coming out to overcoming angry vagina. And I'm just going to ask one or two of them, why are you here? What brings you here supporting us in this circle? Because we want to know. Don't we want to know? Yeah. And don't we appreciate that they're here? Yeah. So let's give them a big hand. So any of the girls, you can just shout out, why are you here? What brings you here? What's that, brother? You want to know your woman better. Oh, where's your woman? She here? Oh, how lovely, how wonderful. Yeah. Oh, that's a wise man. Any other brother? Brother who's hugging your mate. You want to share? Why are you here?
I want to understand women. Oh, you understand? Very complex.
Oh, I know. Complex. Oh, bless your heart. He wants to get it this lifetime. You will. And she'll be patient. That's beautiful. That's love. That's love. So our men are here because they love us. And so we love you back. And may we continue to love each other into wellness and wholeness.
This is not a woman's order. This is a Ma'at order. It's about sharing and giving and nursing ourselves so that we can want to nurse our mates and desire to nurse our children into wellness. Because like I told the sister today, what would happen if a child was in a crib and you did not feed the child and you didn't change their diaper and you didn't hold them? What would happen to that child? They would perish. What would happen to you when you don't give yourself love and you don't hug yourself and embrace yourself? Your womb perishes, or your heart, you shut your heart down, or your mind, you can't think anymore. So this work is to help to bring you forward. I have here on the table, the products are in from Nubian Natural. They're in London. It took several years to finally be here with my 21-day detox kit. Is here. We have the Green Life Nutritional Formula, and you can place orders, and that is to rejuvenate your womb. It's to boost up your immune system, to help detox the STDs, the stress. It is a builder, and you're taking that 3 times a day. Liquid breakfast, liquid lunch, liquid dinner. The foundation work is from out of the City of Wellness and Heal Thyself. And then you have your Master Herbal and your Women's Life Formula. The Master Herbal Formula is to detox the system. So you have the builder, the Green Life, you have the detoxifier, the Master Herbal Formula. With that, you have the clay. Every woman must have a jar of clay because automatically it would take out the pain. The tumors, it will soften the growth of the tumors. You can take it internally and drink it. 1 to 2 tablespoons in water, the juice of lemon or lime. What it has is a zinc, potassium, calcium, magnesium. It goes into the womb center, feeds life into the womb, and begins to soften it so it can begin to pass out. You also, for pain, you put a pack over your womb center. If there's not enough energy in your womb, you put a pack and the womb will start to wake up and will start to break up the congestion. It's just sleeping. Then you have the breath of life, and the breath of life is for those who have colds, sinus, allergies, a lack of oxygen in your system, and that is eucalyptus and peppermint. All of the formulas are for cleansing, and this is something that you can consider so you can pretty much diagnose yourself on this. If you have, I have a formula for cleansing the colon. If you have 3 eliminations or 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, at the end of the week, how many meals have you taken in? 21. For every meal, the body has to go through elimination. If at the end of the day you only have 1 bowel movement for the day, how many meals are backed up in your system? 14. Where is that? In the colon. So that means that's 1 week, 14. So you have 14 meals times 4 weeks. How much is backed up in the colon then? Okay, about 48 meals. Turns into stones, leather, to parasites, maggots, sits in the colon. The colon should be above the navel. It drops under the navel, and it sits down on your bladder. Once it sits on your bladder, the womb is heavy. It sits down on your what? Your womb. And that's part of the tumors, the cysts, the pain. And you start to do some womb cleansing, taking your okra, taking your green juices, taking the herbs, then it starts to purge out. For men, you get impotency. So just as your wife is going through trauma, you may be going through some trauma too. We're really one. So as the woman heals herself, may our men also heal themselves. For those who do need extra support, if you're interested in becoming a part of a webinar training, workshops, I'll be giving those on the 19th. I'll be in New York. You will be here, and I will be able to walk you through 21 days of wellness, because of what the issue may be. It may not be about the womb for you. It may be about diabetes or high blood pressure. You will get your kit right here. You can get your kit here on this land, and then you will be taking the workshop. So for those who might be interested in taking the webinar session training, you can see me after, and then I will start the registration process. Again, thank you so much. Have a blessed evening.
I came to my good friend's house unexpectedly. I thought I had an appointment. My friend here had a vision about her being here. Told her that she was here, so this is why we're here today. And I'm kind of on a spiritual journey myself, because I am now embracing, I'm going Lux. through my good friend here. And things have been happening in a kind of like a divine way. I'm just kind of really overwhelmed at the moment, honestly. So I am exciting time.
So you glad you came?
More than glad. More than glad.
She had no choice to come. It was a spiritual thing. She had to be here. Her spirit had to be here. Wow. There was no way about it.
So you glad you came as well?
Totally. I had to be here because it's a message to bring us on a higher level. Because it's all about healing. So this is the times now. It's the revolution now, and it's for women to be uprise as well.
Like you said, I think it's us that has to forge the way to help men to move in the right direction.
Healing the nation, healing the world, healing the universe, and it starts with the woman.
Thank you, sisters. Your names, please?
Mine is Frankie. And Unique May.
Okay, give thanks. Take care. Sorry. Sisters, your thoughts on today with Queen Afua overcoming an angry Vagina? Vagina?
Well, I thought it was excellent. I mean, I was a bit put off initially by the title, and then I started to wonder if it's a metaphor. What does it mean? So I'm really glad I come. I mean, I've read her Heal Thyself book, which I thought was really, really good. So I wanted to come and see her because of that anyway. But no, it's very good, and I want to now go and buy the book. I'm really glad I came because, I mean, I'm a certain age and I've not had children. And when I first saw the book, I was like thinking, oh, this is all to do about the woman. It's got nothing to do with me. But then I'm listening to her now. It's much broader than that because it's about health. It's much wider than just, thinking of the womb in terms of having children. It's about fibroids and all those things. I mean, touch wood, I haven't got any of those problems yet, but, prevention's better than cure.
So what stood out for you, June, today? What stood out for you?
What stood out for me? I think it's just her talking about the womb being in 3 different parts, I think. Really stood out for me, actually thinking of the mind and the heart as a womb, whereas I just thought of the womb as in giving birth. You know what I mean? I didn't think about all the other things, even though I've got friends who've had fibroids and all the other things. I mean, she's very passionate about what she says. She's very infectious. And what she talks about, the frequency and the food and stuff, it's stuff you can go away and do tonight, basically.
True.
So that's what I enjoyed about it.
Okay, good.
I've been with all the sisters. It's nice to get together.
It's nice to see so many sisters out here.
Especially for the younger women as well.
Yes, a lot of young sisters, What's your name?
My name's Jackie.
Okay, Jackie, lovely to speak to you.
Nice to speak to you.
Okay.
Heard you've never met you before.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Take care, bye. Mummy, what did you think of tonight's lecture?
Well, as far as what I can hear, it's lovely.
Have you ever heard any woman talk like this before?
No.
I mean, you're an elder. You must be. I'm not gonna ask you your age. I'm gonna have some manners. But pardon?
I can tell you.
Okay, so how old are you?
77.
You're 77. 77 years of age. Or 77 plus. If, say, 40, 50, maybe 30 years ago, you would have heard a woman like that, do you think it would have made a difference to women of your generation? If you'd had a woman like Queen Afua around talking?
I think they would say she's rowdy or she's slack or something like that. Because it's true. It's really true.
Yes.
Yeah.
My brother, let me grab hold of you, please. You came tonight because...
Yeah, for know my woman better,
Yes.
Because it's all about certain times, They've been going through their period time and that time of the month, and they've been going through certain pains that you really can't feel, and sometimes you want to find that connection to know her, but you can't really understand. Sometimes she can't explain, But give thanks for being here, Queen Afua. She enlightened man over them go through them time and thing, and with that the man can embrace the woman more, and from strength to strength.
Now that you've attended the lecture, the Queen Afua lecture on overcoming an angry vagina, what is it that you now understand about the woman that you didn't perhaps understand before you came here tonight?
Well, that their womb have a voice that speaks to them, to tell them that they need to make that connection within themselves and find themselves and know who they are, so they can make a better family, I say? So it's all about that, And also, my name is Jamania. Big up the radio station every time. Fireworks Jamania representing, 98.7 FM, New Style Radio, lock and live, see it?
Okay, and give a shout out to your queen.
Yes, big up Empress Aline every time. Much respect and much love, Love you plenty.
It was very enlightening.
Yes.
I found it an excellent empowerment kind of conference.
Yes.
I feel as though I can apply what she's told me to do and to heal myself.
So it was practical for you?
Yes, very much so.
Now you look like a very young sister. What brought you here?
I'm very much into prevention. I can see a lot of black women that are very angry, that have experienced a lot of rough relationships or have had many struggles in their lives. And if I can learn from people who have been through that experience, you know, then if I know better, I can do better. So I'd like to educate myself, and I hope that people from my generation can do the same. And prevention is better than having something to cure.
Yeah.
My name's Sarah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. Ladies.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. I haven't actually read the book, but I find it was quite interesting.
You glad you came?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I am. It's stuff that I kind of heard, and I'm still kind of in the process of doing it because I got the first book. So, you know, I'm doing it step by step. I'm not even going to get the book yet.
Yes.
Because I want to, you know what I mean?
You want to master it?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Get on a level with it, you know? Yeah.
And you, sister?
Yeah, I found it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I want to heal myself. And then healing myself, I can heal my family. I also want to cut a lot of the traditions that we've been handed down, i.e. anger. And we don't know why we are angry, or we do know, but we cling on to it. And I'm really hoping that I can just cut that connection and move forward and help to heal my family and raise a happy nation of children.
Okay. Do you think that lies at the core of a lot of the problems we have as black women, an angry vagina?
I do think so. I really do. You can see in our women that we're just so angry, we don't even know why sometimes. So yeah, and sometimes we do. But then again, you know, the men have got to play their part, but us women have also got to heal ourselves and take responsibility for our actions.
Okay. Do you think it lies at many of the problems we're experiencing as a community? Do you think that an angry vagina could explain why we are partly in the state that we're in today as women?
If we can explain why we're angry.
Yeah, that her concept, Queen Afua's concept of an angry vagina, do you think that helps to put into better perspective why women, not just black women, because she caters to all women, but why women are in the state that they are today?
Well, what she said, I agree with her. I mean, obviously we're internal beings, so obviously we're gonna, you know, show our, you know, internally. Do you know what I mean? I can't get the right words, but we'll display it internally, whereas men would express it outwards and it's gone. Yeah, so we've got to get more in touch with that rage and the anger, which is quite normal. Okay. And so we can have a balanced life.
Okay, thank you. And your name?
My name is Amanette.
Amanette. And your name?
Linda.
Okay, thank you. Take care. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, Sister Ankhobia. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your show. It's helped me through a lot of late nights at work, and been very, very inspiring as well. Also,
thank you.
I'm Benjamin, and this is
Yes, this is Selena. Look at her suntan back from the Gambia, shining like she brought the whole of the sunshine from Africa. It must be cold over there. How you doing, Sue?
Fine, thank you.
So you're both glad you came?
Yes, definitely. It's been an eye-opener. The energy in the room was great as well, just having all the people together, listening, and, you know, just vibrating on the same level. It was beautiful, definitely.
You, as a man, how did you feel?
I felt like it gave a greater understanding towards women and the anguish that we have within our community, be it men and women's relationships, to be honest. You know, great teachers like Queen Afua, Ashra Kwezi, Imhotep Lele Africa, they help us towards a holistic teaching and towards a greater self, which is always a benefit. So it's great to be here, and I don't know, it's just great to be within their presence, to be honest.
Do you feel like, okay, now as a man I have a better understanding of women?
It's not so much a better understanding, but it's great because if you're sort of aiming to, as you know, we all should, to be closer to the Creator and your higher self, you do need to know woman and man as a whole. She does cater towards the women, but there's a lot to learn as a man also, like with foods and as men. Even though she's speaking of wombs, it's just inner health within yourself. So it's not directly the womb. It's more of a life force for man and woman.
Okay, so sis, your young sister, what did you take from today?
Just talking to your room. I've never even thought of doing that, to be quite honest. It seems a bit, when you say talking to your room, it seems kind of mad as well, but just sitting there and having time alone to reflect and go inwards and just talk to yourself and just listen to what's going on within. I think that's what I took. And just the different, I know about healthy eating already, so it's about all the clays and the seaweeds and the different levels of food. I think that's what I took away from that. I'm going to try and get the little chart she had as well. It was very informative, man. It was great.
She's a very empowering sister.
I know. She's glowing as well. She's got so much energy.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I mean, her movement in general, when she was doing the dances and everything, it was like she was 21 or so years old. She was so smooth and so elegant. You know, it's beautiful to see. So it must be better to sort of do for yourself, say in the morning or so. You know, when you get up, you must. I don't know if you do that, in the morning. I'm sure it'll give you an energy to sort of take on whichever you need within the day.
Thank you guys very much,
you.
Selena.
Thank you.
And Benjamin.
Yeah, Ben, thank you.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi.
Hello, sister girl. Where you running up to? Your views on today?
Yeah, excellent, brilliant session. It just shows how much healing we can do to ourselves within, for the womb. So I'm quite interested in reading the book, to hear more.
So you're glad you came?
Oh yeah, definitely glad I came. Yeah, definitely glad I came. It's beautiful.
Do you think a lot more women could benefit from this?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I was hoping that my mum came as well, because some of the health issues she was talking about sort of connect with my mum as well. So,
okay, and you, sister?
Yeah, I enjoyed. I'm glad that I've come, because I think in our community there are a lot of womb issues. I know I'm having my own as we speak kind of thing, so I wanted to come here and hear what she had to say. I mean, I wish I could have had a one-to-one session with her, but I'm glad to be here and I got the book, so I'll do my research on everything.
So Natalie and Charlotte, thank you very much. They're so shy. You're so shy. What are your views on today?
I think it was fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. I listened to her on the radio in the car yesterday. I was driving and I thought, interesting. And then by some coincidence, I don't know, I opened the paper last night. She was in there and I thought, I'm going. You're going.
She's a good awakening, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's got so much energy.
She's a good awakening around the community, We need.
You talk to each other and you think you feel tired, people feel tired, and no energy to do nothing, but I'm fired up now. Sorry for the woman when I get home.
Oh. You too, my sister. What's your name? Hyacinth. My mum's name. I won't forget you. Thank you. My sister, you glad you came?
I am very glad, yeah. It was very nice to hear words, positive words being spoken about our condition and how we can rectify the condition of ourselves and the community, and making people realize the link to the community, the responsibility we have for each other. It's just really good, and I would encourage people to get involved in knowing how to heal themselves.
Now, you're very lucky, because not only have you come today to hear Queen Afua speak, you actually had a one-to-one session with her today.
Yes,
what was that like?
What she said to me made a lot of sense, knowing myself and various illnesses that I've experienced. So it made a lot of sense. Nearly every word she said made sense to me. You can't debunk it, because, a lot of it is truth. So It makes a lot of sense. It's alternative therapy, and it's one of the ultimate in alternative therapy. It is actually the real therapy. You begin to believe in the real therapy, yes.
So would you recommend more men and women go and see her for one-to-one counselling sessions and house sessions?
Yes, simply because as well that she introduces you in a most positive way in how to eliminate the waste and the excesses of our life at the moment, which is keeping us down. It seems to be in a very simple form. I've seen these things. I've invested in these things before. I've bought them, and I've never known how to use them properly. They're still there. And I know this one's going to be different because she's offering a one-to-one, and we've got to invest in each other. So you have to pay, you know. And this is how we build ourselves up instead of trying to get everything free off each other and keeping ourselves down in the process. Come on, people. Let's live up, man. You know.
I'm going to ask you a very controversial question. Do you have a doctor?
I have, yes.
Okay, so if you went to your doctor, is your doctor male or female?
He's male, but I never see him. I always see the nurses.
Okay, suppose you had a doctor who was like Queen Afua. Do you think things would be different for a lot of us? Would you have more faith in doctors, perhaps?
Oh, definitely, because obviously that doctor wouldn't be pushing pills and so forth, the chemicals. We shouldn't call them pills. We should call them chemicals. That's what they are, chemicals. And if people use the word chemicals, they'd have a bit more respect for the chemicals that they're putting in their body 3 times a day.
Maybe we would overrate them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to take another chemical at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, chemicals doesn't sound the same as a pill, does it?
No, it sounds a lot different.
Yes. So yes, I would. It would be much more helpful. Okay. I'm sure. You know, and it's going to happen. Yes. Where you're going to have medical doctors who incorporate this type of therapy because it's natural therapy and we've got to deal with natural. We are nature.
Yes. Marie, thank you very much, my sister.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, thanks. Hello, how are you doing?
Fine, I'm fine.
I saw you put your hand up and ask a question.
I did, yes. I thought I'd ask the question because it's something that's been bugging me over a period of time in regards to the fibroids and thyroids.
Yes.
So, you know, I refuse to listen to what doctors tell me. And I just believe that there is another alternative, and I'm glad I found the answer.
Okay, so you're happy with the answer that she gave you?
I am, and I've got the book, so I'll definitely be reading them.
Is this your first time you're hearing about Queen Afua?
It is, yeah.
How did you hear about her?
Through my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, she heard her on New Style.
Yeah.
And my sister told me that she was going to be here tonight, so yeah.
Okay, great. So you're glad you came?
I am glad.
Is there anything in particular that really stood out that you've taken away from today?
Basically, the fact that you can heal these elements that our bodies actually create, that's been manifested in our bodies. You know, there are ways of actually cleansing yourself instead of tablets and operations. So, yeah, I'm glad I've got the answers anyway.
Give thanks. Your name?
Melanie.
Melanie, well, blessings to you on your healing journey.
Thank you very much.
Just a quick word. There's some shy sisters. We have to do a conference on overcoming shyness. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's very informative. I bought her books. I want to get the rest of them. Very enjoyable evening.
Is it your first time to see Queen Afua or hear about her?
Yeah, I just heard about her 2 days ago and heard her on the radio yesterday, and I was just like, I've got to reach. I didn't even mind if I had to come by myself. I just wanted to hear what she had to say, so very glad I came.
Thank you.
Add as well that she needs to come again and soon. More workshops for us British folks.
Well, she's been in London. She's kicked up a storm in London. So maybe you can go to her tour, a closing tour in London.
Yeah, but why does everything have to be in London? We are the second city. Let's, big up Birmingham now. Come on, Birmingham.
Thank you. You glad you came today?
Yes, I am.
You are. Is this your first time to see Queen Afua?
No, it isn't.
Okay. Where?
In Brixton.
Oh, in Brixton?
Yes.
Okay. So what did you take away from today?
More knowledge, a bit more understanding about the things that we take in from our foods today. And how we need to correct that.
Okay, and what kind of understanding do you now have about overcoming an angry vagina? What does that mean to you?
We need to look after ourselves, and at the end of the day, we need to go back to how our ancestors once lived and used that knowledge, because we can. In today's society, we take the wrong direction because we're following what's being pushed out to us from the media, and we think that's the right way, and this isn't necessarily the right way. We have to listen to elders as such as the Queen, and and take that lifestyle on board.
Now you're here as a bookseller. You've sold quite a few for books.
I've sold virtually all of them apart from 3.
Oh, you sold all of them apart from 3. Wow, that's a lot of books sold. She also has some other books out. Tell us about Queen Afua's other books that people can purchase?
She's got Sacred Woman and Heal Thyself and City of Wellness. City of Wellness is the one that came out before Angry Vagina, which basically is telling us to go back to the kitchen, especially as women, for us to have an understanding about the food that we prepare in the kitchen for our families and for ourselves. And we should go back to our ancestral roots regarding that. The herbs, the ingredients that we put together in order to enhance the food that we eat, because we can heal ourselves from that. Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia.
Okay, you take care. Okay.
You look beautiful, by the way, I must say.
Thank you very much.
Very Heteru. I don't know if you know who Heteru was. An ancient Egyptian, the goddess and the principle of beauty. And these were her colours, so it's lovely. Your views on today?
Oh, what an uplifting and powerful spiritual event, I just feel so uplifted and just give thanks for the power within, the woman, the black woman, and Queen Afua really gave, great messages and words of wisdom for us today, for us to go out and know how to carry on and know how to heal ourselves really as women. I feel certain, healing that my womb also needs to go through. I had 2 children already, and I think everyone can heal. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
love.
Hello, Brown Sugar.
I'm so glad I came.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came.
During the show this morning, I said, I'm not sure, but the only downside of coming is I wanted to come back for a second day because there's so many people, women who could have benefited from hearing what she had to say, who aren't well, who aren't happy, who are in a bad place or not a good place, and they may never get an opportunity to hear her, and they would have so benefited. And I kind of feel heartache to know that they've missed out. I feel uplifted. I want to go and share, say, do you realise, do you know, oh my God, you never...
Yeah.
Awesome. She's beautiful, man. She really is. I feel, when you're getting emotional and you think, it's beautiful, a beautiful lady. It's a testimony to, she's obviously in a good place. She's happy with herself. She's a lot slimmer, but I think that might be down to diets. Because, the things she said about the foods that aren't good for you, the food that doesn't know us. So, but she's a beautiful woman, and she's obviously at peace, which is where I'm looking to get to. It's a part of the journey, man.
Okay, Brown Sugar, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ankhobia. And well done. Interview brought in lots of sisters here. And
hey, that's cool. Yes.
So,
yes.
Blessings, man.
Okay, give thanks. Where are you running off to, sister?
Sonia.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
How are you feeling now you've taken in Queen Afua?
I know there's got to be a lot of changes within myself. First, I must say thank you so much for putting out that interview.
Okay, you're
because I sat in the car and I thought I ain't going to move on till the interview's done. I must have sat there for an hour. I really did.
I do it all the time.
I didn't want to get out the car, and I thought I don't want to sort of even spend 2 minutes trying to get in the house. But anyhow, today was an absolute. It just reaffirms where I need to be, what I need to do. What foods that are harmful for my body and what things are good for my body and that I should do more of. And it's just the energy of Queen Afua, a spirit, it's just so warming. And, I felt that vibration, and I was touched. I was touched.
Okay, great. You take good care, Sonia.
And you, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, sisters. How are you all doing?
We're doing very fine, thank you.
You happy now you've come to see Queen Afua?
I'm very happy because I just think that the woman is very dynamic in the works that she's doing, and it's just wonderful to see a woman achieving their purpose. I'm sure achieving your purpose is not easy by any means, Ankhobia, but when you actually see the works being done, it makes you feel like you want to get on do your works as well. And that's how it's made me feel tonight, that I should be further ahead in doing what I'm supposed to be doing, even with healing myself, really, because I'm trying, but it just seems like an uphill battle all the time. So it's like, how do I get there? But, I know that now I really have to get serious about doing my work on myself so that I can achieve my purpose.
All right. Thank you.
And my goals.
I wish you all the best, my sister.
Thank you.
The sister who looks like Queen Afua. When I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, Sister Binta. Hello, Doreen. You came all the way from Bristol.
I sure did. Yes, I did. It's my Earth Day today as well, so it's a wonderful
present for me to be here.
Okay.
Happy Earth Day. Happy birthday. Thank you. So it's been a wonderful night. As a woman that's had to work on things like fibroids, it's in a way sad for me because I've had interventive surgery, and it's a shame that I wasn't able to meet with Queen Afua before that to deal with this. But at the same time, it's been a joyous night to see other people that will be able to benefit from her experience and what she has to teach everybody. I was just saying to Sister Binta a minute ago, I was at the back and she got up and she went to do a dance. And as Queen Afua was doing this dance and some of you was doing the breathing exercises, including yourself, Ankhobia, I watched a huge light coming around you all, over your head. Oh, yes, because you're psychic, yes. Yeah, over your head, over Queen Afua. She had a great bright light around her. Sister Bintas and some other people. So it was wonderful to see that as well, watching the energy coming from people in the room. It was fantastic. I was really glad to be here. From the mouth of a clairvoyant. How you doing, my sister?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful dancing to open up the floor and open up the lecture. Thank you for the energy.
It was a pleasure to do so. It's something which needed to be done, and it's something my ancestors said that I needed to do, so I just did what I listened and I did it.
You glad you came?
I am extremely glad I came, and it's been beautiful for me to continue with my own personal work because this is linked with it. So
yes.
Sandra Golding. Okay, thank you.
I give thanks. My brother.
Hiya.
Wow, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Now you bought the book Overcoming an Angry Vagina, or as some sisters say, Virginia. So tell us, why have you purchased this book?
I purchased it because I have a 14-year-old daughter. I've got a mother. I grew up around ladies, and I found what she was saying was very inspiring, and I've come to get it signed as well.
Okay. So what is the most important thing that you heard our Queen here say today?
Everything.
What is it that you're going to take away?
Everything. Yeah. It was very inspiring. Yeah, I can listen to it all day.
Okay.
I don't know what to say,
Do you wish your daughter and your mother was here, perhaps?
Yeah, definitely. Hence why I purchased the book. I didn't really have enough collateral today with me, but I thought, I'm going to use my last to purchase the book so I can pass it around, so they can all get to look at it. I really wanted the poster there, but they ran out. But I can purchase it another time. And she's on Amazon.com, is it? Yeah, so I'll go on the website and I'll tell them about it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can, and if you go to Waterstones in town, you'll see her books as well.
Okay.
Yes, in Waterstones on the 3rd floor, Mind, Body and Spirit section. You'll see her books there as well. Yeah. Yeah, with Alana Vasant, Louise Alhay and all of them. Yeah. Deepak Chopra and all of them, you'll see her books. You'll see her there with them as well. Okay, so what's your name?
My name's Dalton.
Okay, Dalton, thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll leave you with the sister.
Okay, thank you.
Have a few words.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Cheers.
Hello, Taima.
Hello, Ankhobia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling very refreshed now.
Yes.
Very refreshed. Yes, it's refreshing to know that I'm not the only one experiencing certain feelings and emotions, and the only one that doesn't have an angry womb. So it's delightful to see other women sharing and being open and honest and willing to take guidance from this talented sister.
Yes, to say the least. I mean, when you first saw the title, Overcoming an Angry Vagina, was you put off?
I thought the title was very controversial, so I don't know if that was the aim, to give a bit of controversy and then get people to come in and actually see what she's going to talk about. But knowing Queen Afua's previous books, I didn't know there's going to be a lot of depth behind the title. I didn't get caught up with the title, Vagina. I didn't get caught up with that because I knew there was something deeper behind it. Yeah. And I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I took in what she said, and I'm going to put a lot of things into practice, my diet, my thoughts. It's amazing to realize how we are our own worst enemy, yet our own best friends, and we have the elements to heal ourselves if we challenge them properly.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Taima.
No problem.
Tell me something. You just bought the book Overcoming an Angry Vagina. Why did you purchase that book as a man, particularly a young man? How old are you?
I'm 23.
23. So as a 23-year-old man, why did you purchase this book?
I think we should know about each other equally. Men should know about women, and women should know about men. We have daughters, we have sons, we have brothers, we have dads, we have fathers, and we should know each other.
Yes. Okay, so you're glad you came today?
Yeah, definitely.
And you feel now you have a better understanding of women?
I I would not say I didn't have an understanding.
Okay. But maybe you have a better or a broader, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, broader understanding of the causes of certain alignments.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. She's so shy. He looks like Michael Jackson, by the way. Shy like Michael. You shy like Michael. If you want to make some money, Michael. Oh gosh, Queen Afua, it's been a great day. Thank you ever so much. Let me just put that there. Thank you.
Take all your bits.
Thank you. It was great. It was wonderful. Oh, I haven't heard something like that in such a long time. Just on a whole nother level. So next time now, we have to get a big women's conference going. Get in the hotel.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
And we need a day.
Yeah.
This 2 hour business.
Yeah, a whole day. A weekend. A weekend.
Play packs, the dance, the whole thing.
A weekend. You want a weekend?
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here.
The Queen, how you doing? Your views.
Ozzy.
Your views.
Very good. Something what we need to know and we need to get together about. So I think it was very good actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What's your views as an interviewer?
As interviewer. Hey, I loved it. I'm so glad that I came because I was thinking, should I come? And I thought, no, let me come. Let me come. Because I've interviewed her. And sometimes you're not sure what to expect. You think, I've read her books. So what is she going to bring different? Or what's she going to bring new? And I'm telling you, it just totally blew me.
Okay.
It really did. Totally refreshing, totally new, very practical. And it reaffirms.
Good for the family.
Totally. Well, she's a family woman. She's a family woman. So it reaffirms that we have to take this work seriously. And, sometimes we have the information in the house just sitting down. We have to take the dust off. Take the dust off the books and begin to practice what we know. Practice what we know. I think that's what it is now. They say the world doesn't need more teachers. The world needs more demonstration. Yes. And I think she's demonstrated tonight that very principle.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Amma Jack, your thoughts on Queen Afua tonight?
Yeah, powerful. I think I've learned, something today. So, it's a blessing. It's all part of the life journey.
What is that something that you've learned?
Well, why some sisters would be upset and how to heal from, certain life experiences and how to improve yourself to make better relationships.
Okay, so you understand the scissors better now, you feel?
I think, until I put it into action.
Until you put it into action. Well, at least you've got the foundation now by which to understand them.
Hopefully, definitely, yes.
Yes, okay. Okay then, but I'm going out now. Let me just say thank you, Beanie. Once again, you've done it.
Well, without your support and New Style support, we wouldn't get much of a people, and that was good. Short notice, but you done good work in interviewing Queen and getting the information out so the people come out, and we're thankful for that.
Yes, but we thank you as well because over the years you haven't stopped. The amount of people that I've seen in this city as a result of you, starting from the age of 17, I can count so many giants and wonderful people who've come through our city as a result of your organisation, the African Caribbean South Harbour organisation. I mean, you don't stop.
No, I don't stop. I think it's in blood, and as me and Queen was discussing, she said that there's something about me that in terms of like my mother's spirits and the spirits them are literally walking with me, and I do believe that they walk with me and give me that kind of courage to do the kind of thing what we have to do to uplift our people. We just have to keep on at it and struggling and support each other. And I think I didn't hear all the things, but I'll have to listen to the recording. But I'm thinking the bits I've heard, it was fantastic. And I think it was uplifting for black women to have another African sister to come and tell them about their womb and about what can be done to help them. And I think it was a brilliant meeting. Feel inspired by it and very spiritual meeting. I think a lot of people was expressing how they feel about the meeting.
Yes, they have. You're here on the recording.
Yeah, it was very good, And I hope that we can get Queen back again to come to be part of a workshop with women in this city, because it's important to heal the our women and let them healthy, because they're their mothers. And I say to every black man out there, respect your black woman. Despite your arguments and your disagreement with them, respect your black woman, trying to be in unity and spiritually bond with your black woman.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, well, you can see this is Sister Ankhobia signing out. You can hear all the noisy Africans leaving the house. So it's been a wonderful day with Queen Afua down here at Camp Lane. So we're all leaving the building now, but it's been a great day. I'm so glad I came. Really sorry for those of you who missed it. I really am. But I know that you're going to hear the words, you're going to hear this conversation. So this is Ankhobia signing out. The word has been spread, and we'll meet up again when she comes again. I know there's going to be more and more people. I can't stop talking. I was born talking. So, you know, it's in the genes. You got to spread the word. So, yes, good night, everybody.